Something like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead, take a moment out, hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've even seen some people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out, share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are back with another episode of the Roger Report Live. We're going to talk about the first degree hatred of black men, y'all. You know what? And I just noticed it was misspelled. I'll fix that after the show, but we're going to talk about the first degree hatred of black men. I see it says back men, but I'll have to change it after the show. Okay. I don't think I can do it during the broadcast, but that's what we're going to talk about today. So forgive me. I'm human. Hey, it is what it is, but we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going regardless, y'all. And before we go too far into this, first of all, I want to give shout outs to everybody who gives me views on a regular basis. Appreciate that regular audience that shows up time and time again. You guys are wonderful. Appreciate you big time. Shout out to everyone who hypes me up every time they get a chance to. Appreciate that big time. Appreciate that big time. Shout out to everybody who hits that like button, y'all. Keep in mind, it's always a good time to hit that like button. It doesn't make a difference how old the stream is. It's a good time to do it. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Shout out to everyone who makes a comment after the streams. That also helps with the algorithm, y'all. You help spread the thing around and get the Roger Report Live to where it needs to be. Because, we got to get that first 100 million under our belt. We got to get it under our belt, y'all. Also, shout out to everybody who steps up and goes above and beyond to become financial contributors of the channel, because They allow me to do things that I just couldn't do without them. So appreciate every single one of you. And want to say shout out to the one, the only, my main man, the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to Big Mo 89. He's the sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Without folks like him, it's hard to do stuff like this. And that's real talk, y'all. Without folks like him, it's hard to do stuff like this. So shout out to Big Mo 89. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. Okay. Now, I also want to say shout out to some of the first people who check in, because when you're starting the show, y'all, it's always great that you got some folks checking in. It lets you know you ain't by yourself. It lets you know you ain't by yourself. It's a great thing to see. And you know how we like to call it around here. We have something we like to call the Highlander of today's stream. Shout out to my main man, Trail Bentley, representing as he always does. Okay, he is the Highlander of today's stream. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag, I didn't say Negroes in the wilderness. I don't think I said that. And hashtag Hell Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Always great to see you in the building. Always great to see you in the building. We got Tunnel Runner in the house. What's happening, my brother? What's happening? Floyd Thompson is here. Yay, yay. Good to have you in the building, my brother. Good to have you in the building. We got Afro Merchant. What's going on, my brother? Great to see you. Great to see you. We have Darius Darton. Shout out to you, my brother. Appreciate you being here. Devon Townsend is in the house. Great to see you. Great to see you. We have Elder Blood in the building. Good to have you, brother. Good to have you. We got Apex Archetype in the house. Okay, shout out to you. Shout out to you. Good to have you in the building. Good to have you in the building. We got my main man, the person who else keep order around here even when I'm getting out of pocket. Chef Mike's Roundtable, the pit master, is here representing for the pit crew. Always good to have you in the building, my brother. Always good to have you in the building. We also got my main man, Bass Teeth, is in the building over from across the ways, y'all. He crossed the river, as they say. Okay, good to see you, brother. Good to see you, y'all. And I'm going to talk about the first degree hatred of black men. Okay, and this is something that I really think folks got to pay attention to, y'all. Folks gonna have to pay attention to this. Okay, shout out to apologizing ahead of time. He said, I'm in the back row. Well, I guess so, because you just creeped on in here. But we glad to have you here, even though you just creeping in here. But we heard the door squeak when you opened it, brother. We heard the door squeak when you opened it. But shout out to you. Shout out to you. Okay, y'all. Now, y'all, as some of y'all may know, that term YN, I ain't too cool with that term YN. Okay? Now, why is that happening? Okay. Oh, shout out to apologize ahead of time. She said, it's Sarah. Laugh out loud. Well, we still heard you creep in, sister, but glad to have you here. Still glad to have you here. And great to see you. Great to know that's you. Great to know that's you. That's real talk. Okay. Great to know that's you. Okay. I appreciate you, sister. Appreciate you. All right. Now, y'all remember Sarah, our sister from another mister, as they say. But she cool people. She cool people. Y'all, now that term YN, which to me is a problematic term because, again, I don't know who came up with it, but I sometimes you just recognize slick business right from Jump Street, and I'm going to say YN was definitely slick business right from Jump Street, even if the person who came up with it didn't mean any intentional harm. But I'm gonna say real talk, I doubt that person did mean intentional harm. Okay, I don't know who came up with it, but for me to believe that that person had no harmful intent, kind of hard for me to even buy into that story, y'all. It's kind of hard for me to buy into that story. And I see this term doing exactly what I thought it was gonna do. And it's gonna be coming up big in big ways. And something needs to be done about it at the end of the day. Okay, it's that simple. Something needs to be done. But it's on us to pay attention, and it's on us to call it out. Okay. Now I'm gonna give an exception for today's show because I've already banned the term YN in my channel. I'm gonna lift that ban just for today because of what the discussion is. And after today, the ban is going right back. Point blank, period. Okay. I see any comments with a YN in it, it's just getting erased. I don't care who put it. Okay. That's simple at the end of the day. Panelists will be warned one time if they're newer. If they say YN, and after that, they just getting booted. Okay. Ain't gonna be no suit for the panelists. Now I ain't Chef, but I can kick somebody out too, y'all. I ain't Chef, but I can kick somebody out too. We gave that power to Chef. We gave it to Mr. Suge, to you. The pit crew, the entire pit crew. Okay. Shout out to J Dub. All right. So they'll be the ones really kicking people out. But this is one I'm going to do myself because that's just how I got to go. It's that simple at the end of the day. That's just how it's got to go. So it is what it is. All right. But now I understand people going to use it in other places and they're going to, they don't necessarily mean the harm they're doing. And I understand people don't necessarily know something is bad until they really get it. Sometimes it takes a little time for people to get negative stuff going on around them. All right. Now I'll put a few links in the description, of course. And you see a white guy about to get into it with a black guy. Okay. But the message in there is mess with the wrong YN. Now, I understand the person who put that if they're a black person, and there are reasons to believe the channel could be owned by a black person because it's called Hoodology 9. Don't necessarily mean anything because anybody can do anything behind the screen. I'm just going to assume I ain't going through the person's whole channel to really figure it out, but I'm going to assume that could be a black person. Mess with the wrong YN. Nah, why he got to be a nigga? That's my thing. Why he got to be a nigga? See, that YN term makes an automatic assumption that this a nigga. And it don't mean black men. It means nigga. And my thing is even black folks got to be careful with stuff like that. Okay, even black folks got to learn to be careful with stuff like this. Now, another video link, which I'm not sure if this is really real or not. It could be, may not be. Okay, could be staged, may not be. Okay, because they're making an issue about a guy getting a plate made for him. Excuse me, but is it logical to believe that a brother can be invited to somebody's home and then the family has so much disrespect for him that they tell the young lady that invited him over, okay, not to make his plate in front of him? Is that a real thing? Well, realistically, in America, yeah, this could be a real thing. I can't say it ain't a real thing. So it's something that could have been staged. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why I say it could have been staged, because usually something like this, why were they recording in the first place? You got to ask yourself that, y'all. When you see a recording like this, why was the person already recording in the beginning? Because you got the whole thing. Most times if something is real, you don't get the whole thing because you don't get the beginning of it. So the person who was recording just happened to be recording and got that right from scratch. Now, is it possible for something like that to happen? Is it possible that something else was happening before this particular moment? That's possible. I don't buy into stuff that don't look real, though. I'm just going to tell you that. I don't buy into stuff that don't look real. But even if it is real, now, whoever owns the channel, not necessarily black. You can't tell with the name in the picture. Can't tell with the name in the picture. But they did say YN crashed out at his girl's Thanksgiving dinner. Now, how do they know that? Okay. And why did they say YN? And if this ain't a black person, didn't a non-black person just call him a nigga? Okay. Didn't a non-black person just call him a nigga? Now, see, this is my thing. I understand. I understand. A lot of people ain't take it that way, at least not from the beginning. Shout out to J Bones. What's good, my brother? What's good? Always glad to see you. Okay. No, bro, you just not gonna call somebody a nigga like that, and it's supposed to be cool. Now, in this country of America, shout out to all my people listening around the world. They've been steady trying to make it cool where other people can call black folks a nigga. Okay, they've been steady trying to make that cool, and I'm going to say they're being slick about it, but they trying to work it into the regular lexicon of people, so everyone in general will call black men niggas. All right. Now we keep going. Y'all, I mean, if y'all think I'm wrong, let me know. We got another clip, right? Now I recognize a couple of guys. I know they try to, be comedians, become stars, or whatever the case is, involved in making skits. All right. So we got one guy dressed up as Batman. All right. So you think, okay, no harm in that. Okay, no harm in that. It's some dude dressed up as Batman. They try to make a joke about how you present yourself and how Batman possibly sees you, whether you one of the good guys or one of the bad guys, right? Now, when Batman uses his detective skills in this skit to figure out this might just be the culprit, what does he say? He says YN. So I understand it's supposed to be funny and a joke, but I'm gonna tell you what I saw. I saw a white man call a black man to his face a nigga, and he didn't do nothing. That's what I saw. Now I'm gonna say this: you got to understand, there's people who did not go through the FBA experience that a lot of FBA's people went through, and they're not as attached. Now I don't know who the guy is, so I don't know his background. He possibly is okay with this because he may not be FBA. His family may not have been called niggas. Okay. Maybe he didn't go through slavery. He could have, you don't know. But you don't know that for sure at all. Okay. So him and his people could have just got here. He might be the first born American in his family. It is what it is. But even if that's the case, so why y'all using that language anyway? So if that is the case, what he's maybe doing, whether it's intentional or not, is he's trying to give white people permission to call black people niggas. And that ain't gonna work either. Now y'all done heard a lot of comedians or whatever talk about, that nigga pass, or where white folks try to get a pass calling somebody a nigga. And I understand that. Now, I'm not gonna say something like that ain't gonna happen in real life, but that's supposed to be some small scale. That's between you and that white guy. Okay? It's not supposed to be something that's going on in public spaces. All right. And once you put it on the internet, it's a public space at that point. Okay. Just is what it is. Once you put it on the internet, it's a public space. So I understand if you so cool with some white guy, maybe y'all having a conversation and, somehow he get your permission to say the word nigga in front of you for the context of whatever's being talked about. I can understand that to a certain degree because I'm human, so I can understand human behavior. But even if these two guys are buddies, because I don't know that they buddies, they just people that do content, they may have come in contact with each other and just did something for the sake of content. But even if they buddies, you don't call nobody a nigga and put it on the internet. Okay, especially not in the context of a joke. Okay, definitely not in the context of a joke. And that's real talk. Okay. Now, These are just people doing stuff on the internet. All right? These are people doing stuff on the internet. And I understand people gonna do stuff on the internet. Now, where it really hits home is there's a clip of the Breakfast Club, y'all. A clip of the Breakfast Club discussing some young man who done got in trouble. And he now has to deal with the fact that he's dealing with a case for murder. He's dealing with a case that is possibly going to affect him the rest of his life. All right. Now, y'all may say, well, he's not the first kid to get charged with murder. No, it probably ain't. You know, and I'm assuming he's black because of, listen to the conversation. Sounds like he's black. Are there some black people who are desensitized to black children being tried as adults? Absolutely. Some of y'all may say, well, he did such a crime that they should charge him as an adult. Totally get that. Okay. Totally get that. I'm going to tell you what I don't get. All right. I'm going to tell you what I don't get. The harder part for me to even want to understand. It is December 9th, 2025. This just in case some change is made in the future, y'all. It is December 9th, 2025. When I look at the video and I say, let me make sure. Okay. Now, according to what I see today, there's a title on it that says 16-year-old YN breaks down in court after being charged as an adult for murder. That's what the title says. 16-year-old YN breaks down in court after being charged as an adult for murder. Okay. Now, because I saw that, I said, okay, well, let me take a different look at this. Because y'all know how it goes. Anybody could possibly be doing any kind of stuff on the internet. Anybody could be doing just about anything. So, okay, they're gonna discuss this guy's particular situation. All right, but it could be somebody could have used the clip. This could have came from a different source. Who knows where this come from? Because who puts a title? Who puts a title on a video? As a content creator, you probably do a lot of your own titles. Sometimes you got people who work for you, and they put your titles up. So I say this could be just a content creator who took a clip and used something, and it may not have anything to do with the Breakfast Club itself. And interestingly enough, it's a Donkey of the Day clip. Okay. Y'all know Breakfast Club do they Donkey of the Day. Interesting. Now I'm sitting there like, I know the Breakfast Club ain't being a donkey itself. Now, Jess Hilarious, I think that's her name. Jess Hilarious is on there, and that's not me trying to disrespect her. I know she's a comedian. I know she was on Wild 'N Out for a while as well. I believe her name is Jess Hilarious. Now she said something about, he tried to act like a YN, and gonna end up being a YB. I understand where she was coming from. I do understand where she was coming from. Okay. I get that. But I say, you know what? Let me look at who's the content creator for this particular clip. Who is the content creator? So I look down at the screen, y'all, and you know what you know what it's coming from? What looks to be an official channel of the Breakfast Club. Okay. See, I look at the symbol. The picture say the Breakfast Club. You click on it to go to the channel. It says Breakfast Club Power 105.9 FM. I look at the little handle at Breakfast Club Power 105.1 FM. Well, I should correct myself. The title says Breakfast Club Power 105.1 FM. So that's probably the actual radio station that they listen to or where it comes from out of New York. So, the handle says the same thing. Breakfast Club Power 105.1 FM. They just don't have a little point in there. So I'm like, oh, this look official. Okay, this look official. And if you look right underneath that, okay, if you look right underneath that, once you done went to their page, it says listen to iHeartRadio weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. Oh, okay, so this is iHeartRadio. This is the people who own the Breakfast Club. This ain't just some random nigga. Okay? This ain't some random nigga. This iHeartRadio calling black men niggas. Because I had to make some type of sense of the situation. Because when you look at it, and you understand things about the world, you say to yourself, this can't be iHeartRadio just calling black men niggas. And you know what's even worse? If you want to be real, this can't be iHeartRadio calling a black child a nigga. Because this is about a 16-year-old. Yeah, he may be getting charged as an adult for a crime, but they're calling a 16-year-old a nigga. Now, I don't know about y'all, but did iHeartRadio just use a clip? And then they use black people to try to make it cool to call young black kids niggas and present that to the whole world? Because once you put it on the internet, you're basically presenting it to the world. Now, y'all would think, no, it's something wrong here. There ain't no way in the world the Breakfast Club just called a 16-year-old a nigga in front of everybody. Okay? I know y'all may have thought that too, because that's what I thought. I know the Breakfast Club, this big radio station, which to my understanding is a really huge radio station. They got a lot of syndication going on. And I'm sitting there like, I know the Breakfast Club ain't calling kids niggas. And they just good with it. And I do have an understanding, y'all. The Breakfast Club is just one of the shows, but they're owned by iHeartRadio. Now, do I think Charlamagne the God, Jess Hilarious, or DJ Envy, do I think they put the clip up? Do I believe they titled the clip? Do I believe that this was their presentation? Not at all. And I get it. Some retarded folk may say, "Well, Roger, though, so you got a problem with they're having a conversation?" No, I ain't saying nothing about a problem with their conversation. Okay, I didn't say anything about their problem with the conversation. Okay, they black. I get it. All right. Now I don't know where these people from. I don't know what their backgrounds are. I don't know if they're official FBA people. But I do understand how the world's gonna see things, and people gonna see them as black, whether they FBA or not. I know Charlamagne says some things that are controversial here and there at times. I understand DJ Envy got some disappointing things in his background or whatever. Just hilarious. Female comedian. People always say something about somebody trying to hold her back because she's black and she's a woman. Seem to be doing fine to me though. She seemed to be doing fine to me. You know. Now, shout out to Elder Blood. He say they on white supremacy payroll. No. See, Elder Blood, I don't even see that as the problem. I don't even see that as a problem. They just doing their job. Okay. They don't present themselves, to my understanding, to be to have hatred toward black people of any kind. Okay. I'm not gonna say I've ever seen them trying to push hatred toward black people of any kind. Okay. Now the thing is, I'm pretty sure they didn't put up the clip and they didn't make the title. Who has the power to do that? You see, when it's just random content creators doing something, that's one thing. But when you talk about big business, because once you go to the Breakfast Club, that's big business. Okay. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable. He says, Roger, I know your thoughts on the term YN. Instead of saying YN, say young nigga. May as well say it. May as well say it for the impact. See how the conversation goes from there. You know what, Chef? You know what? Good advice. Good advice. Because this is the thing, y'all. We know what YN means. It literally means young nigga. So when I saw Batman say YN, and I saw him say that to a black man, he literally called a black man a young nigga to his face. Now I got to assume, real talk, I got to assume the other guy that's in that little comedy skit, he probably not FBA. He may not even get it, or he may not care, because it, in his mind, them ain't my people, no way. That could be exactly what's going on in his mind. Now if he FBA, I feel sorry for him. Because you let a white man say that to your face like that and didn't do nothing, and it's just part of a comedy skit. I mean, I understand there's got to be room to get away with certain things when it comes to entertainment. I do get that. But I didn't see that as a justified joke. Okay? You got to justify jokes in some kind of way. You just don't throw something in and say, well, it's comedy, so let it go. No. The joke needs to be justified. Okay, there are things that are funny. There are certain kinds of humor. I understand that. Everybody's not going to agree about everything from a humorous standpoint. But when you sit there and you, as a white man, and you call a black man a young nigga to his face, it ain't got nothing to do with the comedy skit. No, that don't work. That don't work. But again, y'all, I understand what they're just content creators. They're doing it from a lesser perspective. Now, I told y'all, those who have been around, I told y'all that YN term was going to be a problem when I first heard it. Y'all heard me say that. I know I said it publicly multiple times that this YN term was going to be a problem. There's a reason I banned it from the channel, even though I'm going to lift that ban for today. I told y'all this was going to be a problem. Now, I look at this clip on the Breakfast Club. This say 9 months ago. Okay? That's what it say, 9 months ago. I told y'all this was going to be a problem. I look at the clip 9 months ago. Now, the thing is, who named the video 16-year-old young nigga breaks down in courtroom after being charged as an adult for murder? Who put that in there, y'all? Who put that in there? Now I get a lot of y'all could scramble and say, well, you know what? Maybe a black guy put it up. And this not his thing. Y'all know who the Breakfast Club belongs to? Because I looked it up. I mean, they told us, so I didn't even have to look it up, but because they told us, but I did look it up. And you know, when you do something as a representative of an entity, you're representing the entity. Okay? That's who you represent, the entity. That's why if you get caught fighting and you got your uniform on, people will fire you. And you know, people will be all right, why wasn't you even at work? But you had the uniform on. Okay, you out in the streets, you fighting, and you got the uniform on. If you was gonna fight, why don't you take off the uniform? Because now you're representing the company, whether you like it or not. Okay, you represent the company whether you like it or not. All right, and companies stand by stuff like that because they don't want to be involved in lawsuits and they don't want to have to pay out damages for anything that they didn't quote unquote condone or even really cause themselves to be concerned with. You know, it gets real tricky in life when you living about in the world, but you still got that uniform on. There's some benefits to having that uniform on, but you know, there's always one side of the coin where everything is nice, shiny, and positive, but then there's the other side of the coin where things are a little dirtier and darker. Now, you can't take one without taking the other. So, iHeartRadio, you know, and I got to give them some credit because they got away with it for a while. Now, the thing is, how do y'all feel about this? iHeartRadio just called 16-year-olds and other black boys and men. iHeartRadio officially has called us niggas at this point. Okay. The stories about this particular 16-year-old, but iHeartRadio called all those niggas. Is that cool? Nah, see, I'm not saying Charlamagne called all us a nigga, even though they did it slickly by, you know, getting behind a black face. I'm not saying Jess Hilarious called all us niggas, you know. Not saying that. I ain't even saying DJ Envy called all his niggas. Okay, yeah, and I know those were the people were there. Now, it seemed to me that iHeartRadio called us niggas. Because somebody who works for iHeartRadio, you know, or you could say a subsidiary, because it says, when I looked it up, it said the Breakfast Club was owned by iHeartRadio. You can look it up on the internet right now. Okay, y'all. It's today it says iHeartRadio owns the radio show, The Breakfast Club. And that's how I looked it up. Who owns The Breakfast Club radio show? Okay, so we're in December of 2025, and right now it's reporting that iHeartRadio owns The Breakfast Club radio show. So who is responsible for a title calling black men and boys niggas? Because if you're going to say they ain't calling black men and boys niggas, you know, they don't mean that about it. But then explain it to me, because it says 16-year-old young nigga. It says YN, meaning young nigga, breaks down in courtroom. What make him different than me? What make him different than me? Okay, where's the context to separate him from anybody else? Because I don't see where the separation is. Okay. Now, shout out to my main man, Low End Theory. He says it is what it is. We've been called worse by our own. No. Low End Theory, that has nothing to do with what they're doing. That ain't got nothing to do with what they're doing. Who gave iHeartRadio permission to call us niggas? You know, see, the thing is, you know, people will deflect on something. And I know you probably mean well, but other people gonna do that because they don't mean well. Who is cool with iHeartRadio calling black people niggas? Who good with that? You know, now you can't control what everybody does, and that's a very real thing. But you can respond to things that you believe is important to respond to. Now, iHeartRadio, who owns them? Y'all really think a bunch of black people sitting up there and they own iHeartRadio? Y'all really believe that? You know? Let's think about that. Okay? Let's think about that. Do you really believe a bunch of black folks own iHeartRadio? Matter of fact, I'm gonna see what pop up. Okay, who owns iHeartRadio? I'm just gonna see what pops up on that. All right, because see, the thing is, you know, you can't control what folks do, but you can't endorse what people do, or you can denounce what people do. Okay, iHeartRadio is owned by its parent company, iHeartMedia Inc., a major American media conglomerate that operates hundreds of local radio stations and digital audio service, with its leadership including CEO Bob Pittman. Okay, Bob Pittman is the CEO. While iHeartRadio itself is publicly traded, okay, major institutional investors hold significant stakes, but the company functions as a standalone entity in the audio space. Okay, so we got Bob Pittman's name out here. Okay. Who is Bob Pittman? Y'all know y'all know any black Bob Pittmans? You know? Okay, do y'all know any? Let's dial that in. CEO of iHeartRadio. Okay. Pops right up. The CEO and chairman of iHeartRadio. The parent company of iHeartMedia, the parent company of iHeartRadio is Bob Pittman. Okay? Bob Pittman, who has held the CEO role since 2011, y'all. He been doing this a while. We in 2025. Okay? He been doing this. He been holding that role since 2011. Okay? And chairman since 2013, leading America's #1 audio company through its digital and podcast growth. And y'all know what it shows? Guess what it shows when you look it up? It shows pictures. Now, who y'all think is in the picture? Let's be realistic about this. Who y'all think is in the picture? Okay. Shout out to Platform. He says he was the CEO of MTV. Yeah, that's probably true as well. Okay. All right. That's probably true as well. Now, this is the thing, y'all. You know, now this young black man going through this story, well, this young black teenager, because he ain't even a man yet, he's still a kid. Unfortunately, something done happened where somebody done got killed. You know, I haven't checked his story out. So I don't know his story like that. I just know what was said as the broadcast went, because he wasn't my focal point. But you got a young man who's got to deal with being charged with murder. Now, this is a real charge. He break it down crying, so even the 6-year-old understand this is a real thing. So are we mocking him because he's understanding that this is a real thing and this is literally going to have some impact on the rest of his life? The only question is how much impact it's going to have on the rest of his life. Okay. So were we mocking him? Or was this supposed to be about something that's inspirational? Is this something to tell other people to watch what they doing, be more careful? Because, you know, this white CEO, and I'm just say based on the pictures, he's very white. Okay. Based on the pictures, Bob Pittman is very white. Okay. Very white guy. Typical looking white guy. Okay. You think about rich white men in power. Yeah. He looked like one of them. He looked like a typical idea of a white man in power. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that's an insult. I'm just saying it's a real thing. He looked like a typical white man that you would believe is in power. Okay. And now let's keep it real. If you're the CEO of iHeartMedia, the parent company of iHeartRadio, you do have some power. It's not like you it ain't like you are nobody in all kinds of instances. You're a person with some power behind you. You're a person who makes some big decisions that can affect other people. Now, this is the thing, y'all. This clip, again, when I look at what YouTube says, it say 9 months ago. That's what it say. So this ain't a new clip. It's been out here a while. Now, how it slipped past everybody else, I don't know. Okay. I came across it my first time coming across it. I got a problem with it. Okay. Now, I can't tell you why it took 9 months for me to see it, but the very first time I see it, to me, I instantly recognize there's a problem. All right. Now, I'm going to say this, y'all. If you want to be treated better, at some point in time, you're going to have to confront somebody. I have said, black men, you're going to at some point have to become more confrontational. And I get it. There's a lot to think about of what is it going to cost me to become more confrontational. And I'm not saying that's not a legitimate thought process for you to go through. You got to weather the cost. Okay, you got to measure the cost, I should say. Okay, measure the cost. You got to pick and choose what battles you're gonna fight. All right. You got to make a decision about what you're gonna stand on and what you're willing to let go, at least temporarily. Sometimes you can't really stand on something at that particular point. You put yourself in better position. You can stand on it later. It is what it is. These are decisions we all got to make. Because, see, I don't believe in telling niggas, hey, you better go do this and you better go do that. No, every man got to make a real decision about what he should or shouldn't do. Because when it comes down to it, you are going to be held responsible for your personal choices. Okay? So you can't do everything on somebody else's schedule. Sometimes it works that you can align with somebody else's schedule. Sometimes it ain't going to work for you to align with somebody else's schedule. You got to do what makes sense. Okay? But I got my first guest up, so I'm going to go ahead, chill real quick, and give the floor to I Am Young and Noble. Oh, I see what you did there, brother. I see what you did there. I Am Young and Noble. You have the floor, my brother. You have the floor.
Happy Tuesday, Roger.
Happy Tuesday, brother.
Happy Tuesday to everybody. Happy Tuesday to all my YNs. You know what I mean? All my young and nobles. We young and noble, man. And that's why they hate us, man. So seems to me like, and these people are getting more and more comfortable with calling y'all for what they've been seeing you since forever, Y'all seems to have forgot since y'all got y'all little Michael Jordan, y'all little LeBron James, y'all little Stephen Curry. You know what I mean? Y'all got y'all little athletes, y'all little what they call them, all timers, y'all little goats. Y'all seems to forgot that y'all still a bunch of skins. So y'all got a little too comfortable. Now they're coming out of woodworks to remind you, hey, let me not say it too loud. Hey, y'all still a bunch of niggas. You know what I mean? So I'm not shocked and I'm not surprised, But Roger, he was acting like one. He was acting like a YN. That's why they call him that. He was misbehaving, you know what I mean? Apparently he got involved in a murder. So I think that's their justification. He acted like one.
All right. Now I'm gonna say there is no justification. And no, he wasn't acting like one. Number one, we don't know what he did. obviously the guy got some type of case against him. And like I said, I haven't looked up his case to see what his situation is. I don't care what he was doing. White people don't get to call him no nigga, period. I don't care what he was doing. And white people can't determine or define what acting like a nigga is. So no, there is no justification. That should be something that never come out their mouth. Period. Just is what it is. You know? And you definitely shouldn't have it come out your mouth publicly. Period. All right. And the thing is, ain't nothing changed because white people been trying to get away with calling us niggas since slavery came to an end. That didn't change. Slavery, the official stop of slavery in 1865 was not white people stopping to call us niggas. We went through this whole Jim Crow time. They still was calling us niggas. Then it was, because of politically correctness and things like that, we should really stop calling them niggas in public. We swear we want to treat them as equals. They never did, but they swear them not calling us niggas means they treating us better. So no, they've been trying to get us comfortable with calling us niggas to our face since day one. And this YN term, which means young nigga, is just a slick way to get black people to accept them calling us niggas. So it all it is that they're trying to be slick about using a racial term against us. But call them a racial term against them and they got a problem all of a sudden. So no, this ain't the same thing. It don't have the same intent. And like I said, I don't know who came up with it, but I'm sure whoever came up with it meant harm in the first place. It's that simple. Now, I just don't know that for sure because of the internet and because people abbreviate stuff, it could have been an abbreviation by somebody who technically didn't mean any harm. But I bet more than likely whoever came up with it first actually meant harm. And that's real talk. Why? Because white folks been steady trying to get black people comfortable with being called a nigga to their face. And this is just another way of doing it. And I'm going to say, real talk, when it comes to this clip, to find out this clip came out over 9 months ago, and ain't nobody said nothing, at least not that I know of, it seemed like it's working. Unfortunately, it seemed like it's working. Like I said, that when Batman, the comedian doing the Batman stuff, when he called that black guy a YN to his face, and it had nothing to do with the comedy skit. And I try to give room for comedy. I understand comedy deal with certain stuff, and they will deal with the darkest of things going on to try to bring some awareness and light to how things need to change and move. So I try to give comedy some grace. Calling him a nigga to his face had nothing to do with that comedy skit. So there was no excuse for it to me.
But Roger, it's not white people. It's the small hat.
They white? No. My thing is, I don't know why a lot of people be trying to say, oh, it's they white people. If they white, they white. What's the difference between one white person and another white person, and they all got the same agenda? White is white. I don't play that game of, well, he's Polish, so it don't really count. Well, this person is this, so it don't really. No, they white people.
And white adjacent counts too. We talk about others who don't really subscribe to our culture or the way that we do things, but still want that right to speak on, like if you Ethiopian, right, or you Eritrean, or you Somalian, or you something like that.
No. Those are white supremacists. If you come with a white supremacist ideology, you are a white supremacist no matter what color you happen to be. Which I'm gonna keep saying, white supremacy is not contained to a color; it's an ideology. If you participate in ideology, that's what you are. Let
me say this to finish. There's also a case of a black man in Japan who got essentially illegally detained by the U.S. Army police in Japan. You should make a show about that alone. That is scandalous. I don't know if you heard of it.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, but tell me after the show or something. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't gonna do a show about eating suggestions because people like Mr. Sugar T don't even like to tell you it's something 4 hours long. So y'all gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to get y'all right on how to suggest a show to me because
No.
this dude suggests
It's not
something
gonna
4
be.
hours long and don't even tell me it's 4 hours long.
It's not. It's not like that.
No. I
Maybe
know. I'm just
you're gonna spend 12 hours doing
no.
research.
I'm just messing with you, but I'm just saying you do have to know what you're talking about to do a story. And some stories people suggest to me, I'm gonna have reason where it don't even make sense to do on this channel. Sometimes it will. It just all depends, So my thing is, I'm not gonna have everybody confront me in public about what I'm gonna do a story on, what I'm not gonna do a story on. Y'all tell me in the background. If I approve it, I approve it. If I don't, I don't. But I'm not gonna have people on air trying to tell me what to do with my show. And it's just that because I cannot. I'm not gonna get into pleasing everybody's request. That's just something I'm not gonna do. Okay, nothing against my audience because I love my audience, but I got to maintain some level of control of the show and know where it's going. And sometimes I see things that other people don't necessarily see, like this YN stuff, because I knew this was going to be a problem the day I heard it, or the day I found out about it.
So, Roger, that Batman skit, I don't know if you know or not, you probably do. That young black man was he's more promoting the half zip or quarter zip type of YNs, right? He's kind of representing the YNs is taking it over, and that's his stick, right? His stick is that he's the YN, and he can change at any given moment to put on this type of uniform, right? To be unidentified or not be pegged as a YN. So he's got a bunch of those type of skits. That was the first time I heard the white person, though, say his buddy or whoever he is, kind of say that. And it do give it, he was kind of anonymous, if you will. Right? He had on the Batman uniform, so you can't really see his face. And that was pretty interesting. And then the one YN or the YN, golly, the one young man who was in the kitchen on Thanksgiving, I thought that was a real reaction because that's kind of how, even if it was set up, that's still how, young people act. He said, like I didn't even want to come to this thing. I didn't even want to be around. I don't even mess with your people like that. And I knew this is why I didn't want to come. And it'd be situations, that happen in that manner. So, we kind of got to look at it and who's going to enforce, how we act. And it's right now it's always been media. They kind of pick the trajectory of what we wear, what we say, and as we say and wear things, we don't know that there's an ulterior motive or there's a section of people running the fashion industry that we don't really know about. And so now we just inadvertently start wearing pink, and you inadvertently start wearing tight clothes. You inadvertently start wearing skirts. You inadvertently start wearing high heels and you know what I'm saying? You see how that work? If people was impressionable and they not standing on, they don't have a man in their community to put them on what they need to be put on, then they kind of just out here left to their own devices. But if you got men who stand on game, right, who stand on community, who stand on what they stand on and keep walking, then we can have at least some type of basis that the community can see. But right now, I don't think that's it's just not a strong force in the community right now.
Well, I do hear where you're coming from, and this is why I'm going to say something that I done said plenty of times, y'all. Once you had your 18th birthday, you ain't got no more excuses. It's just that simple at the end of the day. So the dude in that skit, that's why I'm assuming he may not be a FBA person. He may got some other type of background, and he don't understand the seriousness of what he did, even in this quote unquote joke. Because to allow him to have a white man call him a young nigga to his face and not do nothing, and it has nothing to do with the comedy at all. And y'all, I do try to give comedy room because I know comedy deals with some stuff, and there's been a lot of things in comedy that has ushered change. It's helped to usher change. So I try to give comedy grace, but that joke ain't had nothing to do with the term nigga. So I'm thinking he got to be non-FBA and really don't get it or just don't care. And if he FBA, he should be ashamed of himself. Real talk. This should be one of those things that he look back in 20 years, be like, I can't believe I did something that stupid. But let me give the flow to Black Uru. Black Uru, you got the mic, my brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Roger. I hope you and the gentleman on the panel, folks in the public chat, are doing well. I mean, those were some very compelling videos you showed. I could probably do a thesis on all of them individually because they say a lot of different things. I'll avoid doing that. I just start with what I have to say and just say, I mean, this YN term is just so the latest tool of demonizing the image and likeness and reputation of young black men. You know, it's in a part of a long line of they're all thugs, they all beat women, they all steal, they all sell drugs, they are gangsters. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like every generation, right? Or every 10 years or so, they all sag. You know, there's always this sort of constant effort to create some specific sort of imagery, iconography for black males, particularly young black males in particular, where it's unique to young black men. I mean, no other group of people. I mean, black women get some negative stuff too, but no group of people get anything close to this sort of constant creation of negative iconography, right? Negative. We're gonna create a particular kind of face. We're gonna create a particular kind of image for this 5-6% of the American population. And so this is just the latest part in something that America always does, has always enjoyed doing, and has very skillfully utilized to create uh, certain images and certain motivations within people. Because once you label something as such, propaganda, one rule of propaganda, once you can dehumanize something, then it makes it much easier to demonize that thing and then rally people around to target it and attempt to destroy it. So I kind of see the YN thing as being sort of the latest version of it.
I'm gonna say well said, and you know what? It is about dehumanization, y'all. Yo, and this is something a lot of people just ain't thought about or figured out about what's going on in the world. When somebody wants to eliminate you, they make an attempt to dehumanize you first. The more they dehumanize you, the more other people accept them killing you with no justification. Okay? If white people can get black people to accept being called a nigger to their face, what you think the next stage gonna be? Okay?
But Uru, these wines are here stealing Hellcats, man.
What you say? He's stealing what?
I said these wines are here stealing Hellcats.
Well, I mean that's the plan. That's
okay. Who they selling
no. I mean that's a valid argument. I mean that's the plan. The plan is to create these immediate sort of negative associations. Why instilling Hellcats? That's easy to remember. I mean it's easy to remember. It's easy to pictorialize. It's easy to create sort of a repeat sort of where people easily sort of pass that on, So even though it sounds frivolous, what you cite is a relevant part, and this part is the strength of what is done. When you can associate saggy pants wearing with this kind of activity, when you can associate quote thug or gangster with that kind of, then so it makes it easy for people to immediately presume guilt upon somebody who has been charged with that labeling.
Young and
let me hold on. Let me say this real quick. Even when I just heard him say they still in Hellcats. See, a lot of us, we've been trained to think of something. When you said that, I get the average person probably gonna think of a black person. When you said they still in Hellcats, the immediate mental association to me was a young white man. Because I pay attention to who's really doing stuff, not just the propaganda of who they say are doing stuff. Who's going to steal a Hellcat? More than likely, a white man. Why? Because number one, they can much more easily get away with it. Number two, they're not going to be seen as suspicious. Number three, that's a more expensive version of that particular car. They get to drive it around. Nobody's going to ask them questions. People going to feel like they was able to buy it themselves or their daddy bought it for them. It's going to be associated more with them when you pay attention to reality. But if you go into propaganda, I get somebody would say, oh, that must be a black. No. That's a white guy did that. That's what immediately came to my brain. I literally had a picture of a white man immediately popped up, probably anywhere between the ages of 20 to 23 years old, who would steal a Hellcat. Yeah, that's him. Why? Because I'm looking at what's happening in real life instead of just what propaganda tells me to look at. But go ahead, creator, what you was going to say.
No, I was saying Young and Noble is like your Haitian picture right there. They not teaching that in schools, right? The narrative is not what's in your PTR, right? The narrative is the opposite. This is not our job. Their job is not to embellish us, right? And promote, and that is not their duty. So for those who are supremacists, right, their duty is not to put us on pedestals, not to paint us in a good light, right? And they don't do that. They do it incrementally, kind of just like what's going on now. They'll change the word. We know what the word mean. Everybody know what the word mean, but you're not really saying young nigga. You're saying YN, right? And so now it makes it palatable for people in spaces to say the word, and not even in front of us, but more palatable in their own spaces. Now it goes from palatable to comfortable. See, that's the thing about white folk talent. One of their most valuable things that they got is the ability to commercialize anything. So if it becomes if they all start saying it, it becomes commercialized. No matter how underground it was or corny or whatever it is, if they all know about it or if it's promoted, if we came up with a word to right here, right now, that word was said by that community, and that instant is now pop culture, right? No matter if it just started yesterday. So that's the danger in them abbreviating or making up words, and then they put it in their culture, and we don't push back. We don't identify, hey, we not having that, because the other culture, the other ethnic groups exactly do that. They have literal people in place listening to everything that's going on out here, to the point they have trained the algorithm to pick up on if certain entities say things that's out of line. They can kind of now get at them. And it is a must that we move the exact same way. Who are the enforcers of what we want, or the image of the black man? It will have to be the black man.
But Roger,
but here's where the treachery.
These wines are still catalytic converters.
First of all, don't nobody steal like white people. Let's just get that out the way. Don't nobody steal like white folks.
You hear me? When I move into I go we get cribs in they areas. They even hard to deal with depending on where it is, because I know if I leave my truck here, it's gonna be loud in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta take precautions in certain areas that we're not owning salvage yards and things of that nature, in mass like they do. They got uncles, brothers, cousins. Somebody got something, and especially in the north. So it's different in the south maybe, but definitely in the north, where it's their infrastructures, their institutions, they kind of way of doing things. I don't like this term. I don't, because it do give obvious, especially the young people, YN, it give the young people an excuse to say that word, to say it. And now we know the intent in our head, but they're not saying it. It's the same energy.
No, they are saying it. My thing is just as if you said it. If a white person said that to me, I'm gonna treat it like what it is. I'm not gonna treat it like what they intended it to be. You calling me a nigga? That's what I'm doing. Now, if they know better or
like
don't, that's on them. At 18, you're responsible to know everything you need to know for the rest of your life. I'm treating you like what it is. Now, I'm not finna hear. I don't listen to. Oh, I didn't know it meant that. That's your problem. That's a personal problem you
under
got
18,
at this point.
a
That's
young
your problem.
person, under 18,
But
they call you,
here,
hey, what's up,
here
YN?
is
Now it
the
goes to their
person I have, the group of people that I have observed use that term most frequently, by far, from my perspective. I cannot, speak for anybody else, but the people I've observed who use that term most frequently have been FBA women, by far. I mean, it's not even close. I don't see black men use that term. I don't see or observe a lot of non-black people use that term. From what I see, it's largely mostly being used by black women in particular, and it has a sort of weird kind of they appear to be both attracted to it, but then repulsed by it. It's kind of a weird sort of pet name or something in some way that they're using that term. And the other thing I gotta say, I mean, the treachery, including the black women, but the Breakfast Club, it's nothing but black people in the Breakfast Club. The producer of the Breakfast Club is black. Is the F guy who has some interesting history relating to our subject matter yesterday, because there's a connection between him and Diddy that goes way back. So I hear, I get the stuff about white people. I'm not at all discounting that. But man, it sure enough don't be no shortage of us who willing to sell the bullshit and profit from it.
Well, my thing is when it comes down to it, and it's just something black men gonna have to deal with. The average black woman is a white supremacist, so of course you heard it from them. I mean, to me, that's just as natural as water being wet. I totally get that, but they are very limited in certain situations. My thing is you can always accept something better from somebody that's in your group than somebody that's out your group. That's just natural human behavior. So us dealing with them is more internal. When iHeart Media, okay, promotes that black men and boys are niggas, that's a serious issue. Because that's a person with that's a group that has a lot of power to spread a lot of stuff over to a lot of people all at the same time.
What I say about pop culture,
the fact that Bob Pittman is letting it slide, that says a whole lot to me. Now I get somebody can say, well, you don't even know if Bob Pittman knows about it. It don't make no difference whether he knows. He got people who working for him. Why wasn't this brought to his attention? Why didn't he do something about it? To be able to look at this online and see 16-year-old young nigga breaks down in court. I'm not supposed to be able to see this, and it's 9 months after the fact. This is ridiculous.
Ignorance is no excuse. They say ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you're in business, to say I didn't know is no excuse. I can't. So now we're talking incompetence at a high level or acceptance.
No, see my thing is you got to ask yourself a question. How come everybody who worked there everybody who's seen it who worked there didn't think he should know about it? Everybody who worked there didn't think this should be changed. It's 9 months after the fact.
Bro, he inspect what he inspect.
So you don't think sharp? You don't think sharp? I mean, all these people know what that phrase means. Everybody, all the way up the chain, knows what that phrase means. Everybody that
they
was
see it
in the discussion, whoever publishes. Well, I mean, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know what they know. I just know what the term means. I think we all know what the term means and the implications associated with it. So I mean, but if the black people don't know or care, and we're supposed to expect the white people to know or care, I mean, I get what you're saying, Roger. I'm not discounting that ultimately the buck stops at him. We're not, debating that. But if all the Negroes along the way are willing to sell us out, it's just it's a hell of a battle.
Well, see, this is my thing. I don't know what anybody knows. I just know what people are responsible for. You see what I'm saying? I'm not finna play a game with you about whether you knew or not. White folks don't play that game with us. I ain't got that type of grace for you. I just know what you're responsible for.
I
Bob
don't care
Pittman
what
and
he
everybody
knows.
under him.
It don't matter what he know. If all the Negroes around him are signing off on that, including these people who have been well into, the music scene, and they go back. I mean, Eddie F goes back, the
Let's
producer
go,
of
man.
that show, goes all the
Go
way
ahead,
back
go,
to Uptown.
We going deep now.
Go all the way back to Uptown, go all the way back to Diddy and Harrell and that whole set. And them people have made a lot of money and gained a lot of power off of using those particular groups of people to maneuver around black folks. So I mean, I get you right. Obviously, if you kill the general or the field marshal or whatever, I guess the army falls. I get that. But I got to also look at these captains and colonels and this shit as well. And when I see a whole bunch of people just kind of presenting something as if it's nothing, and we all know the implications of it, I got to include them in this discussion too.
And my thing is them losing their heads in the context ain't got no. I don't have no issue with anybody who's in a power position to control this all the way up to him. If all of them get removed, I'm 100% fine with that. I don't care what color you are, because again, I'm not gonna argue, but I'm gonna argue what you're responsible for. And somebody had the power to put that in the title, and other people let that go. It's that simple to me. I don't care where you fall in the totem. If you are in the totem pole of this, to me, it's on you. And I'd rather you be gone anyway. It's that simple. And I don't know that it wasn't black people, having an issue with this, bringing it up to them. And because this happens at companies, people have an issue with something, you bring it to management, and they say, "Man, let that go." I don't know that ain't been going on. You know what I'm saying? It's. I'm sure it's black people around somewhere, and I'm sure somebody said, "Why y'all do that?" Somebody said that to somebody.
But functionally, Pat was his name Patterson. Is that his name? What's the name of the guy you're referring to?
Bob Pittman.
Bob Pittman.
I mean, Pittman is going to disclaim all knowledge, all connection, etc., whatever. He will suffer no effect at all from this. It'll just be referenced down to through the chain of people. I mean, if you want to stop it, you do have to take out, Charlemagne, Eddie F, and those kind of people, in order for them people to say, "Oh, maybe we can't do this no." But the Pittman or whatever, he's not going to suffer. I mean, he's too far removed from anything related to that show to suffer any injury at all.
So, yeah, like you said, ignorance is no excuse, and they don't set the standard for us, and they don't. That's just what it comes down to. So, if my brother Roger caught it right, and he's only catching it 9 months ago, shame on those of us that didn't, catch it before then. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of where he's at. He's like, wait a minute, why did it even get to me? And I'm talking as Roger. Why did this even get to me? This shouldn't even have made it to me in this time frame. And it's kind of the same with Bob Pittman. He should have known or set a standard, right? There has not been, obviously, you are your management, and at the top sets the standard. So at the top is saying that, hey, this standard is okay. But I'm saying as far as us, we the community as black men, we don't let nobody else set a standard for us, which is what I think Roger's on. Like, hold on, wait a minute. I don't agree with that. And if we do let this carry on, right, that's what happens. Nobody says anything. There's no uproar like in the other communities. There's uproar, right? And that causes change. Well, there's no uproar when they do something, then that means it's acceptable to us. Right?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, because it's the clip 9 months old, it really shouldn't have got to me with this title. Somebody should have been changed this. Somebody should have been did that. But I gotta let these other gentlemen get in, even though I'm rocking with hard with what you're saying right now, Craig. I'm rocking hard with what you're saying. But I got 2 new guests that popped up. So let me let them get in. Tunnel Runner, you got the flow, and we'll get Hotech Institute in immediately after you. Go ahead, Tunnel Runner.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Roger. It's called disrespect. No matter who's doing it to you. If a young black man's doing it to you, he's being disrespectful. If a woman does it to you, if somebody from another, they being disrespectful. When they have problems, I went to a country where they having problems with the Indians, but they're not calling them the slang for Indians. They're calling them Indians, young Indians. They're not saying, if they said young blacks, that would be okay, but they have the respect of saying the people and not calling them by their slang or their name that is negative. So it comes down to respect. And if you call some other groups by their slangs or their bad words, they will come down on you. And black people have to realize that the N word is a negative, and we should not let people use it. I'll
Well
land
said,
right
brother.
there.
Well said, brother. Okay, Hotech, you got the flow, brother.
Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's up? What's up?
What's up, brother?
A couple of months ago, I think Tunnel Runner was on the panel with us. I know Uru was there. We literally had a conversation about stop the stoppage of using the N-word. And y'all dudes was like, no, it's empowering. It's empowering to use it. It's empowering. This is what happens. If you don't respect yourself, you don't deserve respect from nobody else. Like, young black boys made up that terminology, not no white person. They made that terminology up. They made it the N-word to use. And now we mad everybody else is using it after we do. You already know we already set the trends anyway. So if we set a trend that's using that terminology, everybody else is going to use it. Now, as far as Charlemagne and them, they are an urban radio station. Of course, they're going to use urban vernacular. But it's up to us. If we don't want that word being used, period, by anybody else, why are we calling ourselves it?
Look,
like, why if we calling ourselves black, and then we don't want a white person or an Indian person calling us black, then why would you name yourself that? Your name is The Roger Report Live. All right, so you can't get mad if people call you The Roger Report Live. You can get mad if they call you anything else, but you The Roger Report Live. That's what you named yourself. That's what you branded yourself as. So we can't, we really had an argument amongst each other about using that word. And y'all guys, I'm not saying anybody in particular, but guys was really like, no, we should keep using it. It's endearment. It shows that we have power. And the other branch of us was like, nah, man, we just got to cut that all the way off. And I end it right there. Sorry if I went too long.
No, I'm gonna say this. There was a discussion about it, and I literally said that we can do something that other people can't do. The issue is, why is it so hard for black men to accept that they can do something that other people cannot? At the end of the day, I didn't say I had any problem with what Charlemagne said. I didn't even trip about what Just Hilarious said. I got a problem with the fact that the video was titled this way. This ain't got nothing to do with the people who was in the clip.
But Roger, just because we can do something don't mean we should do it.
It's not about whether we should or shouldn't. It's about the person who put it up as a clip shouldn't have did it, period. It's about the people who stand behind that person shouldn't have let it go, period. Everybody up to Bob Pittman should have had a problem with this, and none of them did.
But this This is Hot 97 or whatever their station is. That's an urban radio station. So
I don't care.
they're catering to you. And that's what you call yourself. That's what we use. That's the terminology we use. Now I could say if it was a
They're
white
not catering
station,
to me.
all white station with all white casters and radio hosts, and they put that word up, yeah, it would be a different. I would feel like I would really look at it as a different scenario. But this is how this is. I forgot their station, but this is them. Everybody up there is black. As far as on the camera, I'm not gonna say everybody in the background is black, but as far as the camera, that's why, yo, man, just because you can use crack, that don't mean you should be using it. You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want, but should you do it?
I get where you're coming from, but at the end of the day,
it's an interesting position that black men have that nobody else has, and that is almost anything that we do can and will be used against us. You know, we can coin a term woke, for example, and it be turned into some negative thing. We can coin a term, uh, whatever, you know. Thug used to refer to anybody being a thug. You know, an Italian guy could be a thug, a Jewish guy could be a thug, or whatever. Now, thug is almost entirely synonymous with black men. So I, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, whole tech. Um, and I do think that the N word in particular is a debatable issue because there's a lot of cultural connections to that particular. You know, there has been imbued within it that is unique. Is unique to this country. Is unique uh, to black people, to FBA people in particular. You know, so it has a lot of complexities to it that is difficult to compare to other things. You know, people made that word mean something in spite of what it originally meant, right? And it was sort of a kind of almost mental and emotional adaptation to being in hell, you know. So that's why there's a lot of debate about how to use it and whether to use it and why to use it. But I do think black people have earned. I think black people have earned the right historically over the last 400 years to decide whether, when, and how, and by whom should use that word because they fucking died for it. You know, when your people look, I don't know what the Scottish folks call each other. You know, I don't know what the Jewish people call each other I don't care. I don't care. If women want to call each other bitches, I ain't gotta call them bitches. If that's a term of endearment between them, I don't have to be involved in that. I can accept that as being a term of endearment between women. So I don't buy this notion just because a word exists. Everybody should be able to use it if it means something to some particular group of people. I'm okay with Islamic guys having a certain name that they use amongst each other, and I'd be excluded from that. I'm good with that. I'm not a part of that group. So I don't accept this argument that, well, okay, just because we say it, you know, in a certain context or whatever, everybody should be able to say it and then use it derisively against us. I don't accept that argument.
Yeah, but that I well, look, I know the way I was raised and the way I was taught, people got killed for calling you that word. Like my father from Brooklyn, and when he first started going to school in Queens, the white boys was chasing black people down the hill in Queens from school. calling them niggas. When them Brooklyn guys got over there and them white boys called them a nigga, they got their head spin. So now all of a sudden it becomes a term of endearment. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, hey, at the metaphysics of things, if you call yourself something, that's what you become. That's why you think the young boys is doing the quarter. Why you think the young boys is doing the quarter zip thing? They don't want to be social. They don't want to be looked at as a thug. A thug presents themselves a certain way. They don't want to be looked at as a thug.
Okay, but
That's why they're doing the quarter zip thing.
Even the conversation.
No, but the conversation is how you represent. Hold on,
brother.
Ourselves and how other people look at
hold on, because the people who doing it ain't got nothing to do with us. You talking about us? We ain't did none of what we talking about today. What happened is today is somebody else is doing something that they should not have our permission to do. So if you're gonna argue that it's okay for somebody else to call us by what's become a racial slur, but not argue to call everybody else by their racial slurs, to me it's just dead wrong.
Everyone doesn't.
Hold on. I've done this in the past. Now maybe I remember, maybe you don't, but I've done this in the past. I talked to a person. I called them an Arab, because to me that's who they were, an Arab. That person of that descent said that's a slur against us. We're not Arabs. We're Arabs. I said, oh, cool. I didn't know that. That's what I always heard people calling y'all. They was like, no, it's pronounced Arab. To call us Arab is we take that as a slur. Somebody said that on my channel. I said publicly, don't call them Arabs no more. Call them Arabs, because that's the way they want to be referred to. It's that simple at the end of the day. You can call yourself whatever you want when you're in the group. Other people can't do stuff that your group allows. It just is what it is.
And we decide how we want to be. Like when you meet somebody for the first time, they don't get to call you what you think, that whatever they feel like they want to call you, even if that's what they call you in their language. You you make them known. I was on a show, I was calling him by his name, and he's like, hey, bro, the way you pronounce my name is this. Right. I said, okay, respect. I got to respect that, because it'd be the same way if I came in here and somebody called me Keeter. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, obviously you don't know. So let me learn.
Have you all ever been?
But now y'all conflating things, because
have you all ever been in a group? Have you ever been in a group or amongst a brother where some people will refer to that man as something within that family, but we're not allowed to use that term about him. Have you ever had that experience?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. But this is the thing. We using the word as a term of endearment. They're using it as a slight to the person. So you can't slight a person. That's where I think we're going wrong at. If I call if I'm at my Jewish homeboy's house and his father's like, you little kike bastard, he's not saying little kike bastard as a term of endearment, like we saying my little nigga. He's saying it as like, yo,
but they in their house.
It doesn't matter what they do, because it's on them to correct or let the situation go. If they say don't use that language, then you ain't supposed to use that language.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I understand. I'm saying it don't matter, because it's on them.
Roger,
you can't call me what I don't allow you to call me. That's why if somebody call me a nigga to my face and they white, they got a good chance of need to see a dentist. They got a real good chance of needing a dentist after that.
And I agree you, but if they're walking around calling themselves crackers, like, yo, what's up, my crack? And you say, yo, what's up, my cracker? And they get mad at you. You looking at them like, well, that's what y'all call each other, isn't it?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. I'm looking at it as I don't care, because it ain't my people.
No, I'm not.
That's a bit of a false equivalency, because cracker don't have the history. Cracker don't have the history that nigga has. That's a false equivalency.
Do Chinese people walk around calling themselves young chinks?
Look, bro. You can't just be using a bunch of racial. You can't use a bunch. Hold on, Black Rule.
If they did, that would be their business.
And if we
If
call
they
them young
chose to do
Hey,
that, that would be their business.
hey, y'all can't be on the channel just throwing out all these things. We done gave an example of already one time. We're not going to use everybody else's slur on the show because that's going to create problems. The point is you cannot use other people's slurs. It doesn't make a difference what they do themselves. What I do in my house, I can walk around naked in my crib, and you could come over there and I can still walk around naked because it's my crib. You can't walk around naked in my crib.
Right. So maybe I'm confusing things. Help correct me or help me get it correct. So y'all saying the N-word is a slur.
The N-word is a slur. It has been a slur for a long time. So and ain't nobody fooled about that. People know that it's a slur.
That's a slur.
In public. If somebody else is using in our community, we use it how we want to use. It's I own it. It's mine. It's
so is it a slur? Is it a slur or not?
No, technically it is a slur.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Wait, is it a slur or not? No matter.
Bro, I gave you the yes. I get the argument you're trying to make. I've been saying yes.
It was created.
So it's a slur.
It was created as a slur. And Black people adapted to using the word for different reasons in a different context. It's a survival, and that adaptation was a mental and emotional and spiritual survival mechanism. You cannot compare it. It is hard to compare it to anything else. We're in a country where we were enslaved, right? Asian people were not enslaved being called some slur word. Arab people were not in this country being enslaved called some slur word. So, part of the problem with these comparisons is that you're comparing or you're trying to compare a very unique circumstance to what everybody else who have nothing at all to do with us in our particular history in this particular country. I don't know I don't know what people in the Sudan are doing or calling each other to survive in the Sudan. I don't know that. That's not my business. I don't care. Whatever they have to do that, that's them. God bless them. Whatever they have to do, whatever mental, emotional, rhetorical kind of tools they must use to endure what they've endured, I appreciate that for them as other separate sentient human beings. That has nothing to do with us.
All right, now I gotta say, y'all, I got somebody named Giovanni backstage. I'm not sure who Giovanni is, so Giovanni, I'm gonna bring you up in a moment to give you a chance to speak to make sure you all good. But I gotta get Jado open the statement in first. Then Giovanni, I'll bring you up and you can give your piece. Jado, you got it, and right after that, I'm bringing in Giovanni.
Hi, good morning, Roger. Good morning, gentlemen on the panel. Everybody in chat, replay gang as well. Peace, bro.
Howdy, Jado.
What's going on? I think when you guys were talking about, I noticed like when women when they call each other bees, and it's I guess labeled as a term of endearment, and it's absolutely not the case. They're calling each other bees because they're bees. They are truly bees.
Hard to argue that.
And if you guys, again, I sit back and observe throughout my life, man. When fellas, when we use the N word, even the N word or ninja, or all that stuff, it still boils down to nigger. And people want to, and then even black men, we take part of a little bit of diluting ourselves too when we say no, it's the A or the AH, not the ER. White folks in the South back in the day would say nigga too, A or AH, whatever way you choose. White folks have ran the game that they always run. They run plays for hundreds of years. They convinced us to do their dirty work, man. And they can disguise it many different ways. N-word, ninja, YN, all types of stuff. And we do their dirty work for us. So they do not have to call us niggers. We can do it for them. And I guess I'll end right there. Thanks.
Okay, and I'm just gonna say, y'all, at the end of the day, what we call ourselves is one thing. What you allow somebody else to call you is a different thing. And when is it gonna be okay with you to say I can do something that somebody else can't? Now, y'all hold fast because I got a new guest. Giovanni is backstage, so I'm gonna bring Giovanni up. Giovanni, well, you know what? Let me do this real quick too. Let me go grab the rules and say what the rules. Matter of fact, Champ, go ahead and get in real quick because I'm gonna grab the rules so I can go over the rules for the new person. So go ahead, Champ, get your
Yeah,
opening
what's
statement real
going
quick.
on? Happy Tuesday for everybody over here. Um, I'm glad that was well stated by J Lo and everything else. And what's happening is that a lot of white folks are being bold enough to outright say this type of stuff, whether it's ninja, YN, etc. And they're going on social media like Twitter, posting videos talking about, they're tired of this. This is another example of black fatigue and all that. You guys been using it for so many years and everything else. Why can't we use it? We're not racist and all that. But yet they're bold enough to acknowledge their racism and all that. Like what happened over the weekend. I don't know if you had a chance to talk about that incident at that Cinnabon place where you had a white lady use it constantly and everything else in front of some non-FBA Somalians. Now, I don't think she will be doing saying that type of stuff in front of black folks who are foundational black Americans, but obviously she was using it, even though she has a mixed race child. So what's happening is that the people own this, who owns this, who hold on, who owns it, basically, are just pushing these are just pushing all this type of stuff, this propaganda stuff. So I'm gonna land my plane in there. We just gotta be staying on guard on this.
Oh, hello. I don't know if I can be heard or not yet.
You good? Go ahead.
Okay. I actually do agree with Jay as well.
Hold,
My thing is,
hold on, y'all. Because
yeah.
I'm gonna read the rules. I'm gonna read the
Okay.
rules first, and then you got it, Giovanni.
Okay.
Rule number one, y'all, no talking over the host. Okay. Rule number two, stick to the subject of the show. Number three, be respectful to others as they speak. Number four, everyone is afforded a 2-minute uninterrupted opening statement. Use it wisely. Number five, different opinions are welcome, but you must remain respectful at all times. Number six, keep the cursing to a minimum. Okay. And shout out to you, Trail, for saying that because I sure was talking backstage, but I was on mute and didn't realize. So appreciate you saying that, brother.
Roger, sorry about that. Sorry about that.
No, you ain't do nothing. It was after you stopped. I was saying something and but y'all couldn't hear me because I had muted myself and
Can I
forgot.
give another rule, man? Can I offer another rule?
Offer it to me off the air. Offer it to me off the air.
We need this one on the air, man. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please hit that.
I mean, I can't argue with greatness, okay? I ain't gonna argue with greatness. If you want the realest show on social media, you do need to be subscribed here. That's real talk, okay? But definitely hit the like button if you're here. Giovanni, welcome to the show. You got the phone, my brother.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. So I actually do agree with Jay. Again, context does matter. We are constantly, especially on every platform of social media, seeing whatever variation of the N word being used. And because it's such a gray wall, and we're constantly having these conversations and deferring back to white people and whatever they prefer, it gives them that kind of in to even say things like, well, you guys use it, why can't we? That doesn't really make sense because there are plenty of things within their culture that they may say that we don't even pay attention to or even care about. So deferring to them in any context as far as what's allowed, what's not to be allowed, as if as if somebody else actually mentioned earlier, they use it in the South with the A, with the H, with the ER, in whatever context. It really didn't matter. It was always in some form negative when they used it. Even now, when whether it's the quarter zip, the YN, whatever other form, it's just another way to call you the N word. Let's be honest. So because it's such a gray wall, we're having these conversations as if every time it's said, it's not for a different reason. So again, I just think context matters at this point. It's never going to come to a point where we all, I believe, genuinely agree on what it even means at this point. It's been, I don't know how many decades, and I think what Sirius said in the chat kind of sums it up realistically in your everyday use. Like he said, if you and me are sitting in jail, I call you a jailbird. You both laugh because we're in the same situation. Right. So I completely understand black people, foundational black Americans, using the term, switching it up, whatever they did, whatever we did to cope with it, to change it, to change the narrative around it. Either way, we're going to have to cope with something and do something, because regardless of us using it in a positive manner, there are 10,000 versions of it being used against us negatively. Um, so I think, again, it's just context. I think context matters, and these conversations are so gray wall. It's like it's just really hard to pin it.
All right. And I'm gonna say, because you knew, I'm giving you some grace, because you sound crazy to me right now. But I know why you wouldn't get why you sound crazy to me right now, and that's okay. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna let Gold P say something. He gonna say what he want to say. He probably gonna sound crazy too, but hopefully not. And then I'm gonna ask everybody a question after this, so I can get some clarification on where people are standing. Gold P, what's going on, my brother? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. What's your opening statement, my brother? Do you think?
Man, what's happening? Can you guys
What's
hear me?
happening?
Yeah, we
Okay,
hear you, brother.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
What's happening?
yes.
What's happening? What's happening? What's
What's
happening?
happening, man? What's happening, man?
What's happening? Off top.
What's
What's
up,
happening?
OP? How you doing?
What's happening? All right, all right. I take my 2 minutes. My first minute goes to the Roger Report. Off top. Hit that like button. Support the channel. We rock with the best show on earth, supposedly, according to Roger. Since he wanna, you know. He gonna go P probably talk crazy, but don't worry about it. Go ahead, go P. I'm just saying I make it a point to support the channel, Roger. That's my first minute. Now my second minute, Roger, you need to stop being dismissive. Shark Sims made his point, man. And I'm with Shark on that. I have to pay my Shark Sims tax. Make sure I do that. Shark is right on it, and Jado is right as well. So, Roger, you need to stop being dismissive, man. Let me ask the panel, as well as you, Roger. Do you think you will lose subscribers, lose people listening to you, if you did not use the N word?
Let me make this clear right now.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do whatever content I want to do, and I don't care who's subscribing, who don't.
Okay.
Now, I understand that's a dangerous statement for a content creator to make. I'm just telling y'all the God's honest truth. Ain't nobody gonna dictate what content I do, period. I would do things that people suggest. Sometimes I'm not gonna do stuff that people suggest, but I ain't scared to do nothing. I'm gonna do whatever I want to.
So with that being said, it takes 20 to 25 days to create a habit. So when you change the habit, well, you change the look of your environment or your space that you're in because you changed that habit. Now, I've been rocking with you for a significant amount of time. You've never heard me utilize, sir. Hey, I would say young brother, young blood, or something along the lines of that. Sir,
It's 2 minutes.
I would say, hey, I got 38. I pay taxes, Roger. And you interrupted me. You interrupted me, Roger. I will leave it at that.
You know you my man's $100 grand. Real talk.
Yeah, okay. You guys, you know what I'm saying is right. You know what I'm saying is right.
I smell your feet.
Well, let me say shout out to No Placeholder who dropped $5. He said Jado dropping fire on that ninja point. And he did the quotes on the ninja, y'all. He did the quotes on the ninja. But appreciate you, No Place on appreciate you. Okay, now I'm gonna ask y'all this, y'all. We're gonna start, go down the line. We're gonna start it on Creator, and we're gonna end up with Giovanni. I'm gonna ask this very simple question. Man gets into a argument with somebody. One white man, one black man. Black man kills white man. As the information comes out and you on the jury, you find out that the white man called the black man a nigga. He started beating the brakes off of him. But it's one of those whoopings where dude died. The black man didn't necessarily plan on him dying, but he whooped him. And 3 days later, some complication happened. Dude died in the hospital. If you're on the jury, are you gonna say, and ain't gonna be no further explanation, just is what it is. Is he guilty or not guilty? That's it. White man done died 3 days later after some type of complications because black man whooped him because he called him a nigga. If you on the jury with that limited information, is it guilty or not guilty for the black man? So, Creator, what say you? Guilty or not guilty?
Okay, so ask that question, then decipher. I have some other people. I got some other people.
Roger got one of
This
the most
is
trick
funny.
questions coming.
This is funny. I love it. I love this, Roger. These hypotheticals, bro. It tells so much, man.
But I got some other people in here with me too. So ask that question one more time. So we
okay, is guilty or not guilty? White man and black man get into it. Black man don't intentionally kill white man, but white man dies 3 days later after the fact because of some type of medical complication. But they got into it because the white man called him a nigga. He beat the brakes off of him. The dude eventually died. Is it guilty or not guilty for you if you sitting on the jury?
Can I go?
For me, it's gonna be not guilty.
Cool. Just hold right there. Hold on. I'm gonna let everybody. I want everybody to answer this question. Black or Roof, is it guilty or not guilty?
Nah, I mean, no question, he's not guilty.
Okay. Cool. Tunnel Runner, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
You giving the black man a guilty? Cool.
No, not guilty. Not guilty.
Oh, not guilty. Okay. My bad. Shark Sims. He got Shark Sims back. Guilty or not guilty?
I'm playing chess, so I'll plead the fifth right now because you're trying to put me in a hole with something. I see you coming across the board.
I didn't have nothing.
So I'll plead the fifth.
Okay. J-Lo, guilty or not guilty?
Roger, you being slick right now, brother. You being very slick. But it's all good, bro. It's all good. Hey, I'ma be honest with all just the info you gave me. Guilty, man.
Okay.
And y'all take my black card, y'all.
We ain't doing all that. Okay. I'm young and noble. Guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Okay. Champ, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty. Hey, there was a case that just happened over the weekend in Portland, Oregon.
Hold on, chat. Just save it. Now I appreciate you saying it with your chest because you definitely did. but hold fast. Gold P, guilty or not guilty?
I'm gonna say guilty.
Okay. Giovanni, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty on manslaughter for sure.
Okay, cool. All right, so now we see there's a spectrum where black people can be. Now I'm just gonna say, if y'all ain't already figured it out, of course it's not guilty. I don't care, dude died because he got into it with a black man. He called him a nigga. Those are fighting words. Beat the brakes off of him. If he died, he should have had his affairs in order. It's that simple at the end of the day.
See,
Life ain't fair, man. Life ain't fair. Your affairs should have already been in order once you do that. You caused a fight, and unfortunately, it cost your life because you had a medical complication. Didn't want it to happen to you, but hey, it is what it is. I ain't worried about it.
See, the reason why you whip his ass, though, Roger, is because you're not a nigga and he called you a nigga. And like when black guys say nigga to me, I look at him and be like, I'm not a nigga. I'm a grown ass man. I'm a black man.
Well, no, I get where you're coming from, but I'm gonna say the truth is you just didn't get permission, man. Nobody signed your permission slip.
The history of this country says to me, when a white man calls me a nigga, that's a prelude to some potential assault to my person. That's what the history of this country teaches. See, I don't pretend we all just kind of came to America yesterday. I don't do that. So a black man saying nigga to me don't mean the same thing to me as a white man saying nigga to me. A white man saying nigga to me says he might pull out a gun and shoot. That's what a white man saying nigga to me means. In fact, I'm inclined to think, based on how cowardly most of them are, that usually when a white man is willing to step to you and call you a nigga, he probably got something on him. So I'm operating with extreme prejudice against that white man when he does that.
I could agree with you,
That's what the
Uru, but
Hold on,
history of this country
real
tells
quick.
me. That's what the history of this country tells me.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
could,
and
I
hold on,
could.
real quick before you say it. I'm gonna let you
My
say it,
fault.
but before you say it, y'all, anybody might be jerked off the panel at any moment. It doesn't mean you got to go anywhere. I will bring you back up because when it gets a little crowded,
Good.
I'll swap people in and out. Okay, so
Yeah.
Creator just got taken down for a hot
Nah, I ain't
second.
got
Don't go
caffeine.
nowhere. Don't go
Sorry.
nowhere. We still got you,
Hmm?
but anybody may be pulled off at any
Nah,
given moment.
I got
Just
I
so
got
y'all
a
know.
watch already. See, I got all
Hold
of
on,
them.
he talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all mute up if you're talking to somebody else. Ain't got nothing to do with what we got going on the panel. Okay, y'all mute up. Okay, but as I'm
Well,
saying,
well,
y'all,
well,
I got
well.
I
This
got
is
more people backstage, so I'm gonna be snatching people off. I'll bring you back up. People just be off about 5 minutes or so. It ain't gonna be that big a deal. But you don't have to leave. I'm not taking your soup or nothing like that. You still good. Okay.
well.
Now,
This is why I would say he's guilty, right?
well,
Because
I told
oh,
Shark I
okay.
was gonna let him say what he wanted to say.
Oh,
So
okay. I'm sorry.
let Shark
I'm
finish,
sorry.
then you
Go
can
ahead.
go after him. No,
Go ahead.
just go after him. That's
I
all.
Yes, sir.
I
Go
I
ahead.
And
understand what
then me
Uru
after
was.
go pee.
Oh, I understand what
Go
Uru
ahead.
was saying about the white man. That's why the white man will get punched in the face off a GP. But my brother, once he said he called me the N word, and I'm like, Joe, chill. I'm not an N word. I'm a black man. And he keeps on doing it. We gonna fight too, cause you're calling me out of my name. You're calling me something that I told you that I'm not.
Okay, well
Well,
said.
what I would say he's guilty because he would lack understanding because people are gonna say what they're gonna say, right? You can't change that. You can People are gonna say what they're gonna say throughout the world, throughout time. They're gonna say this, that, and other out. Now we do know as Negro Americans, those are fighting words, right? Those are fighting words. But at the same time, we gotta read the room. People are gonna call you stuff out all the time. It's when it gets to the point where you got to throw hands. That's when it becomes pertinent. Because I call you suckers all the time, suckers all the time. Yeah, I say y'all some suckers, man. But y'all be like, man, that's Gold P, man. We talking about you ain't no suckers over here. Nah, y'all some suckers, man. All right, right. But but the point is, y'all know that. Oh man, Gold P over here wilding out at the mouth. He'll suck himself. What are you talking about? Right? But people will say stuff off the top, man. So that's why I say guilty, man. You gotta know what it is, man. You don't decide because everybody will take time to get you out of pocket. They'll get you out of pocket, and if they can get you out of pocket to where the point you take a life, well, you know what you say, Roger. You don't let a good situation go to waste. Right? You know what that's what them people say? That's what them people say. Don't let this good
But
situation go to waste.
Okay, y'all.
but Roger, if you say something about some other groups of people, small hats, they will take care of your bit. They will. You will have some harm come to you, or some kind of political, financial harm will come to you. So they demand respect, and black people need to demand respect too. That's what it all comes down to. It's respect.
I'm gonna say well said on that one. And I got to get Truth Teller in here, and I got Great Black Reset backstage. I'm gonna bring him up in a moment so he can get his opening statement in as well. And y'all, I'm just gonna say At the end of the day, once you're 18 years old, if your parents didn't give you everything you're supposed to have, it's your responsibility to get it on your own. And I want to make this clear for people because there's other people out there like me. It is not my responsibility to internalize anything for you. I know a lot of people, they think about things from this internal perspective. I don't have to do that for you. If you call me a nigga, don't worry about what I think of myself. Just worry about what I'm going to do to you. I don't have a responsibility to internalize that and say, well, I'm not really a nigga, so I don't have to do anything. That ain't my responsibility. I'm just
No
going to do
one
what I want to
said
do.
that. Huh?
Okay? It is what it is. I'm going to do what I want to do. And what I'm probably going to want to do is make you not want to call anybody else a nigga to their face again. That's probably going to be my response. Just I don't need to internalize something so you can be okay with the outcome. It's just not my responsibility. It is what it is. But truth teller, you got the flow. Right after you, we're going to give it to Great Black Reset.
Hey, what up, y'all? I'ma just put it on the table. Not guilty due to duress from a terroristic threat. That's all I can really
There you
say.
go.
Uh, you can't make a terroristic threat. That's called verbal violence, and there's repercussions for being violent. Things can happen to you. That's all it is. I'm, I'm sorry, officer. He attacked me. Well, how did he attack you? Well, he told me something that made me think my life was in jeopardy. I had to respond in order to protect myself. I hope y'all listening to what I'm saying out loud. I had to respond that way to protect myself, officer, because I don't know what was going to happen next. I was afraid. And just leave it at that. Don't talk no more. Have a good day, officer.
Well, I would say, man, y'all going to jail. Y'all going to jail.
This nigga a sucker. You a sucker because you don't want Black Reset to get his opinion in, which I said he was going to be next. So you is a
Well,
sucker.
well,
And
Black
no,
Reset is Great Reset is a sucker. He a sucker. I forget Great Reset. He a sucker all day. Sucker.
hey
See,
man, if
Hey,
you
is that a sucker with an A or ER?
oh Lord have mercy.
Oh, let's go.
That's a sucker with an A, man. That's a sucker with an A.
Oh, that's the good.
Sucker.
That's the good one. That's the good. That's the good version. That's the good version.
That's a good version.
That's the empowerment version.
all right, brother. Hey, the privileged people, I'm not gonna swap y'all out. I was about to swap out Black Hoover, but I like, nah, I'm gonna let it ain't that many privileged people, so I'm gonna leave the privileged people where they won't get swapped out. But the rest of y'all, you may disappear for a moment. I will bring you back up. You don't have to disappear for real. Now, if you get mad, that's on you. I can't worry about all that. But I'm gonna bring you back. But the Great Black Reset, now that you've been called a sucker multiple times in multiple ways, you do have the flow. Do whatever you want to do with that, brother. Do whatever you want to
Man,
do with that.
anytime there's some swapping out coming on and I'm coming up, take Gold P off first. Just take him off. Just do
See,
that.
see, see, that's some sucker type stuff, man. That's some sucker type stuff.
See, this why he won't take up
That's,
my time. He won't take
hey,
up my
no,
Yep,
time.
yep.
no, I ain't taking up your time, man.
He
The
is
first
See
sucker.
the
sucker is
disrespect.
Roger.
See
He's
the
The
supposed
first
to
disrespect.
sucker, no. The first,
These my 2 minutes. These my two
yeah,
minutes, and he want my 2 minutes. You
uninterrupted,
see this?
that's
You
because you
see
called me
uninterrupted.
a
this?
sucker. Just
The
because you called me a
disrespect.
sucker, man.
No,
You called me a
brother.
sucker, man.
You disrespectful. He supposed to get a 2-minute uninterrupted opening statement. Why can't he get his 2 minutes?
Roger,
Thank
you
you too,
started it
Chef.
all. You
Thank you
started it,
too,
Roger.
Chef.
Because you a sucker, Roger. You started
Hey,
because you a sucker.
you know what? You better watch out. Chef might be listening. You know what I'm saying? You better watch out. I'm trying to get his brother's 2 minutes. I'm trying to get his brother's
So,
2 minutes. That's all I'm
Go
trying to
ahead.
do.
Go ahead,
so
Kev, sucker. Go ahead, sucker.
thank you, sir. Thank you. So to answer the question, Roger asked if you were on the jury, would he be guilty or not guilty? Why are you guys answering the questions as the victim? Do white men make y'all feel like victims? If I'm a black man on a jury and a black man killed a white man, I don't care what he killed him for. He's not guilty. I don't care. Not guilty by skin color. Period. I don't even understand where y'all coming from with all this obfuscating. He asked you if you own the jury, is the man guilty for killing this man after he called him a nigga? He not guilty. You on the jury. You get to decide. Make a decision. Where all this other stuff coming from? The man's not guilty. I'm gonna land my plane now.
Kev, that's why I plead the fifth, because Roger was trying to throw me in a little pit in a little headlock and all that. So I ain't want to let him get his ooh moment off of me. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't gonna get that off of
Nah,
me.
nah,
Hey,
I took that shot for you, Shark. I took it for you.
I
look,
appreciate you, my brother.
look. What y'all ain't never got to do with me is worry about me trying to do a moment to go viral. I have no interest in quote unquote all of a sudden going viral. So y'all ain't got to worry about that from me. I'm just asking a question because I just want to see what people at. And I understood we was gonna have a spectrum of what people were willing to do. Now me, I'm just taking it as the white man said something that's fighting words. The black man basically has a responsibility at that point. Yeah, responsibility at that point to get the man to come to the conclusion that it is a bad idea to call a black man a nigga to his face. Now, how he approaches that is on him. There are violent ways to do stuff like that. There are non-violent ways to possibly do something like that. The violent ways are probably going to be much more effective. He didn't mean to kill him. He just beat him down for calling him a nigga. Now, if you accidentally die because of a situation you put yourself in, well, I got to be mad at somebody else. If you got in the car after drinking too much and you took off down the road after drinking too much and you killed yourself, why would I be mad at anybody else? I don't care if somebody else was holding your keys and you said, give me your key. And the person said, no, don't do it because you drunk. Hey, give me my keys. And people can argue, well, you know, you his friend. You didn't have to give him the keys. That man responsible for his own life. Once you do something crazy, I ain't tripping that crazy things happen. It is what it is.
So can I ask you a question? If on the Charlemagne title they would have put ninja, you would have had a problem with that?
No, I mean, realistically, I don't know. I know I had a problem with this because it ain't about Charlemagne. It ain't about none of those people in the room. It's about they work for somebody.
Hey,
Yeah,
Roger,
that's what
that's
I'm
a
saying.
great question. What if the end they're referring to is ninja though?
I
No,
mean,
man. No,
truth be
don't
told,
don't
Bro,
do
I'm
that.
just,
I'm
bro,
gonna
I'm just
say
saying.
No.
Just think,
my
fellas, just
guess,
think about it though.
my guess is I would have had a problem anyway because this ain't their content. They have people who took content that they own. These people don't own this content. They work for somebody. And the people who own the content put it up there and put that up there. And that's really where my problem came from. I ain't got no problem with nobody in the video, but they don't own the content. I'm saying the issue is the owner, not the people who made the content.
Hey, Roger, I agree, but if you put a black face on it, then what are we really talking about, man? That's all white people have to do: put a black face on it, and they can sit back and watch us argue about it.
They did put a black face on it. And I know it's about Bob Pittman, not the people in the video. And I'm trying to help black people understand the difference between who owns something versus putting a black face on it.
So if Bob Pittman said ninjas, would it be a problem?
Yeah, probably.
Well, yes or no? Not a problem. You giving me the probably? That means
I'm saying it's
space for no.
hypothetical. It's hypothetical. I probably would have said something about it too. Real talk. Realistically speaking, I probably would have said something about that too.
But the word ninja means like a stealthy, like honorable fighter from
Man,
the Asian
stop it.
Now,
continent.
I
Stop
mean,
it.
telling the
words,
truth, fellas.
words have meaning, but they also have context.
The, the
Yo,
truth is the Breakfast Club been a problem for a long time. And they are forwarding the white agenda, just like BET forwarded the white agenda after some point in time, bro. They work for these people. They're not going to say no because they don't want to turn down their check, bro. The people that work there should stand up themselves and say, "No, we ain't doing this," but they won't because they're getting paid. Or they selling us all up the river over there at that place with the content that they're doing. They're getting paid to make black people look bad.
Well, I'm gonna say, even if that's the case, this is not about what they did. It's about who the people who own the content had somebody put it up, and they called the 16-year-old a YN. That's an owner situation,
right?
So my thing is, I'm not holding anybody in that video responsible. I don't care what they did. I care about what the owner did, because the owner signs off on his stuff. And people say, well, the owner may not know. It's management, it's change of command. And I don't know, it wasn't black people who told you, y'all need to change that. That's not right. That's not cool. Plenty of people could have said that to him. And you know what they obviously told those people? F all y'all. I don't deal in excuses, man. You either did it or you didn't. If you didn't mean for it to be a problem, how come I see this and it say 9 months ago and it's still up and say the same thing? If this was a problem, it would have been changed in 9 months. But clearly, this is what I'm not saying what Charlemagne, DJ Envy, and Jess Hilarious think of us. I'm saying what the white people who own this thinks of us. And they're the one calling us niggas, not them.
This is the new Oprah Winfrey. They're gonna pass all the foolishness through to see what black people will accept through them. This is what this is.
Well, actually,
you know
one of the other videos clarified what black people are willing to accept. And I'm going to bring it back to this point. The young man who was at the house for Thanksgiving, the disrespect he received from an elder was outrageous. Now, I'm one to vote. You can lose your elder privileges for such nonsense. Just like you want to hold that leader accountable for that, who okayed this video to be played. Elders who outright disrespect young men need to be held accountable as well, specifically and especially because they are supposed to be the leaders and the consultants of the community. Their repercussions should be worse than anybody else because they should know better. So if we want to hold these people accountable for the roles they play in society, you can't let that go either. And as men, we're going to have a problem with that because we don't like saying that to our mamas, our grandmamas, women especially. Niggas is scared. That video is the one that caught me off guard more than anything. Why would she do that to that young man that's there with his girl as a guest? Why does she need to belittle him in front of that girl and in front of everybody in that room so that he can feel like a peon eating from their plate? And I don't have a problem with his response because that's what she deserved, elder or not. Her elder privileges went out the goddamn window the second she did that. And we do not treat the members of our community the way they should be treated based on how they act. And that's our fault. And we need to get that together before we can sit here and want other people to be accountable to us.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say well said on that one. I agree with you 100%. Because if that was real, that was disgraceful, and that's real talk. Absolutely disgraceful.
And even if you're a young person and another young person, if you tell that person don't disrespect you, they should not disrespect you. You should get your respect and say, don't call me that, and I'm not that, and that's it. If they're doing it, they're disrespecting you.
Honestly, the only thing elder privilege will get you, should get you, is a warning. So if you disrespect somebody and they warn you, yo, I find that disrespectful, don't do that again, and you continue to do it, you just gave up your elder privileges. Now you just like the rest of us. You don't get the special treatment no more. You got the warning that an elder could get, and you stepped over it. I don't like the fact that, because you hear people say it, respect your elders. I don't even know what that means, because some people mean it as just do what they tell you. Other people means, hey, take into account what they're saying and use your proper judgment. And people just, nobody knows what respect your elders mean anymore. Just means follow along with what you're being told. Now, if you're a child, that's great. You don't really have a choice. But if you're an adult, it ain't the same circumstance.
Yo, truth teller, I agree with you 123%. You know, I really do that with you. But like, I came up in the conscious community, and they taught us something like metaphysics, like as above, so below type of thing. And maybe he got that treatment because he calls himself a nigga. And when we calling ourselves nigga, you get the energy that niggas got.
That
Like
does. It's meaningless what you're saying.
Huh?
It's meaningless what you're saying.
Yeah,
It
we
doesn't
can't go
matter
by
what he
baby.
calls it. Yeah,
No,
no, not even that. It doesn't matter what he calls himself. If he calls himself a roach, it don't matter.
no. I'm saying the
She,
energy. No, I understand what you're
I,
saying. I'm saying the energy you put on yourself.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
nobody has a right to violate your respect just because you don't respect yourself. That's absurd.
That's not true. That's not true, sir. Listen. If you are disrespectful to yourself, then you leave the door open for everybody else to disrespect you, regardless of what you personally feel or what people you think people aren't supposed to do. You leave yourself open for everybody else to be disrespectful to you.
all right, but
When you respect yourself, then you move accordingly.
truth
Okay.
teller.
That's
Listen.
what Roger was saying. Wait,
I'm gonna
hold on.
tell you
That's what
this.
Roger was saying about internalizing other people's thoughts about you. That's what Roger was talking about a few minutes ago. If you was
When you're
listening,
calling yourself a nigga,
But
when you're
listen.
calling
it don't
yourself
matter
that,
what you
But
call
you're
listen.
yourself.
internalizing
It
it.
don't matter.
No.
Not the
Listen.
same. My
That
fault.
one of my brothers, my club brothers. I got club brothers who live in, and I'm out of Cali. So when I go to Cali, when I go to Georgia, they talk a certain way. So one of my club brothers, he be like, oh, he'll say something, then he say, bitch, I didn't say this. He'll call me a bitch, right? And I say, hold on, bro. I don't rock like that. We don't rock like that, man. Cause you can't go to jail calling the brother a bitch. You can't. We don't rock like that's fighting words. That'll get your block closed. So I had to correct him because I'm understanding. Hey, man, I'm a whole man out here. Ain't no bitches out here. So he had to correct himself.
Gopi, I hear your
You
point,
see
but
what
I'm
I'm
gonna say
saying?
this. No, I hear your point, but see now I'm gonna say this. I possibly let's say I got a little brother who don't respect himself because I don't have any, but let's say I did. Got a little brother, he don't respect himself. All right, people in the area that he happen to live in, they get used to being disrespectful of him, and then because he don't respect himself, they beat him up real bad or they kill him. You did what you wanted to do. Now, when I come down there and take people's head clean off their body, I don't want to hear nothing about he didn't respect himself. I don't care.
Roger, that's your brother. You're supposed to protect your brother.
No. My brother don't have to respect himself for me to require you to respect him.
If
I
my
don't care
brother
what
don't,
he feel about himself.
if my brother don't respect himself, I'm still going to respect him off a GP. That's my brother.
I don't care who it is. People have a right to feel anything they want about you. That's real world. That's
Thank
why
you.
I say I don't have a responsibility of internalizing anything. People can feel any way they want about you. Do what you want to do because you want to do it. It's not about that other person.
Why do we come here? Why do we come
Talking about
I
to the
can
Roger
explain it.
report, or
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. And
I'm just
I'm
making
sitting
sure.
back
Just
letting
making
y'all
sure.
answer. I'm letting y'all answer.
Oh, because
I
Roger got the
think
best
to
show on the internet.
bingo. In
Right.
exchange,
Okay.
we're supposed to be
So
exchanging
that's
ideas and trying to learn and teach each other, learn and teach from each
here?
other. I'm assuming that's what we're here
Okay,
for.
but notice that there's
we
a
come here because
particular kind of person who comes here.
yeah,
It's not
it's a
white
respectful
guys,
platform.
it's not black women, it's not Asian guys. It's a particular kind of kinship of men who come here, overlapping backgrounds, sort of range of ages. but within sort of a sort of a cultural understanding. And we're all black. It's not a coincidence. That's a particular kind of kinship. And what develops in that kinship is conversation, is understanding, sometimes misunderstanding, but then is resolved because of a broader understanding. But everybody can't get in this group. Everybody just can't come up here and say certain things to Roger, and he'll receive them the same way that you or I might say them. See, the problem is you all, some of you want to apply this broad standard. There's specific group dynamics. There's specific group understanding. Look, when a brother says nigger to me, it means a lot of different things. When a white man says nigger to me, that's a prelude to some potential life-ending event. Seriously, that's me being over 60 years old on this planet. So again, I'm not for this false equivalency of just this word. We just supposed to apply this and just say it's this terrible thing. I get it. And you know what? Let's have a Negro convention and let's decide that we're no longer going to use the N word, or let's have a vote to it. And I'm fine with whatever comes up if that decision is made by black men. But I'm not accepting what anybody outside of the group say or feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
None whatsoever. Fuck them.
Hey, look, man, I want to address this, man. Fellas, like, I know we're cultured men up here on this panel, man. We've been around different groups of people outside of FBA. And look, man, have y'all seen a different culture, race, or whatever call themselves a racial epithet to themselves as a term of endearment? Now, and I'm not saying should we care? It's not I particularly don't care either. But have we witnessed that? Have we seen that? We've been around other people.
I
Have
can
we
answer
seen
your
this?
Not as
question.
a term of
I can
Jay,
answer
endearment.
your question.
probably not, but I don't know how many of us are
No.
well
Hey,
read
I got
into other
I
cultures.
never seen it.
I got
I
one
never
answer for
seen it
that.
in real life. I never seen it.
I
I
got one. I got the answer for that.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
certain culture. Yes. For example, for example, the N word that we are debating about where I'm from, it just means man. You see what I mean? It just means man.
Where you from
Yeah.
again?
You
Haiti.
saying Haiti? You saying
Yep.
Haitians do this?
Yes. Yes. The N word. There's that N word in Creole also. It just means man. Man.
How do you
Point. Period.
pronounce that word?
For example, you can have a woman and you say, okay, this woman doesn't have a man. In Creole, you just say, "Comme ça, pas gen neg." Neg. That's the word. So
That's a different word.
no, 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 nope, nope.
Yeah, it's a
It
different word.
spells
We're
Man,
it
using a different
spells
language.
listen, it spells Neg. It's from French. French. There's a word in French, nègre. Negre.
So you're saying that's a
so that's
derogatory
negro.
term?
That's like a derivative of Negro or black, which
Yes,
is from
yes,
Latin, right? That's Latin, right?
Yeah.
But we're
yes.
not.
Yeah, it's a
So
different
But
so
word.
so
that's a little different. That's a different
It's a
context,
different
though,
word.
brother.
It's a different
well,
word.
you said can be used. I said yes. Where I'm from, it just means
Uh,
men. You
No,
said
No,
but
no, no,
is it
no,
Negza.
it's not a
no,
It's
no, no,
men.
no,
derogatory
no. You're
term used as
obfuscating.
I was not
yes.
That's not what
obfuscating.
he asked, and you know it. You too smart to be playing stupid.
There, there,
He
Jalen,
Why?
asked you, do
there are,
other?
there are
He asked.
dozens,
Mhm.
there are dozens of negative names that white people in particular have created for black people. if there was no N word, you got coon, you got darky, you got mud, you got blackie, you got, I mean, white people have never been at a loss. If the word disappeared, it would be another word.
That's what I was
They've
saying
never
earlier.
been at a loss for negatively describing black people.
Yep.
You know,
If
this is a
Uru,
country that lynch people in military uniforms and suits, man.
And that's what I was saying. I didn't mean to cut you off, Black Rule. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, I'm not going to defer to what white people think about the N word in particular as to how they're going to treat us. Again, there are 1,000 different versions of that word. Again, like they're gonna call us it regardless. So the notion, I think somebody said it earlier that, oh well, you guys call each other that, so why can't we? You guys called us that before we did, so it just doesn't make sense. Like I'm not going to defer to people that hate me regardless on what I'm going to call myself, deal myself, if I'm respecting myself or not. Like I don't care about their judgment. Like they're gonna do it anyways
You know
in many
what,
forms.
Giovanni? Maybe I misheard you earlier. You sound all right. You know what I'm saying? You sound.
That's what I said earlier.
Maybe
yeah,
I
because
misheard you
That
earlier.
sound crazy.
because
Yeah,
he's
that's exactly
agreeing
what I
with you,
said.
Roger. But
Yeah,
nobody
I
answered.
think you
No one
misheard him.
answered
I
Jado's
think you
question though.
misheard him initially, Rod.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said earlier.
But nobody answered Jado's question.
Well,
Well, Jado's question
Well,
was, does any other ethnic?
I don't know any other people who have had the history and the culture
She's really serious
of
about,
African American
you know, how
people.
she.
Black Rule, that's
I mean,
with
I don't know. I mean,
Black Rule, you
so again,
She don't
I don't look. I don't have a problem.
body,
I don't have a
you know,
problem
say, do
with
whatever it
black
is,
people
you know.
having their own issues
And then
to
she
work through.
like
And
shit.
and as I said before, Jado, if we're gonna all come together and create some code for whether or not we should use the word, I'm good with it. I'm good with whatever decision comes out of that. But I'm not going to demonize us because we created this culture around this word for a lot of different reasons. And while you have a very clear understanding of it, my best friend in 50 years, he's going to walk through the door and say, "What's up, niggas?" And that's not
hey,
about
Black,
hate. That's not going to be, it's not going to be about hate and demonization and whatever. So look,
can I?
again, if we're going to have this Negro convention where we decide whether or not we should use the word, I'm good with that. But until then, I'm also good with black people saying
Hey,
this is what it's going to be for us, and the rest of y'all ain't a part of it.
So I do want to give some
I just want to be.
examples.
Hey, oh, go ahead.
Well,
No,
I was,
Jado, get in real quick because once truth
Uh,
teller get going.
no, I was going to be short. I
yeah.
was going to be short because I'm answering the question. Italians had a name. They called them moolies. You remember Eddie Murphy stand up?
That was, and they
They
use that
didn't.
as an insult to each other.
Correct.
Yeah.
They ain't use Mooley as, "What's
But
up,
they
my
use
Mooley?"
it. But they use it in a joking manner. Have you been around Italians when they use it against each other?
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's still a derogatory term. Like, Johnny,
Thank you.
fuck
It's a
you. You
derogatory term, but are they fighting when they use the word amongst each other?
no,
Don't play games.
No.
he's insulting you.
Right. He's insulting you. He's playing. Just like when we insult each other.
Mm,
No, no,
Do
no,
you
no,
no,
remember
no.
the? Do
no,
you remember?
no,
Hold
no.
on.
Truth
Hold on.
teller,
Hold
truth teller.
on. Sorry.
No,
Hold on. I'll
you're
make the
wrong.
last point and I'll drop off. Does anybody remember 10 minutes ago? Sucker with an A? Oh, y'all niggas forgot.
Yeah, we was making satire of that
Oh,
conversation.
satire. Oh,
Yeah,
calling somebody a sucker with an A is satire now.
yeah, because if you
Come on,
call
man.
if you call a
I hate
nigga,
when y'all be hypocritical,
no,
B.
y'all
Come
hypocritical. But
on, man.
if you say nigga with an ER, and then y'all like, no, but it's nigga with an A.
But
So
they say
yeah,
mooly. They call each other mooly. You just said it.
I know they don't call each other
Oh,
Mooley.
Jesus Christ.
Mooley is a
Yeah, I'm from
derogatory
Hey,
New.
term
I'm
hey,
that you
from.
use
I'm
towards each
wait.
other.
I'm from New York
is it
too,
a term of
brother.
endearment?
Okay. Hold y'all. Because see, y'all keep tracking to something that ain't even really important as far as I'm concerned. It wasn't us calling us this. Somebody else did. Is it a difference between somebody else doing it and you doing it? Because I can go get my car and drive off right now and ain't nobody got nothing to say. If somebody else go get my car and drive off, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
If I come to my crib and I just start throwing food out the refrigerator on the floor, ain't nobody can say nothing to me about it. But if you come in my house and do it, that's a problem.
I keep going back.
I just want to say, man,
in the beginning of the show, that's the very beginning of the show. Remember, the issue I said is what the content creators showing. I show how this is going to be problematic, and I show how a big business, iHeartMedia, just sanctioned calling a 16-year-old a nigga in public. That's what iHeartMedia did. They not us.
But I think you're reaching with that one, Roger, because the guy who owns it doesn't write the titles and give the names of the shows that they're going to do. He didn't even invent Donkey of the Day. He just collect money from what these people make money off of him, off of the world for him, and give it to him. He doesn't.
How many people had the answer for that though before he would even get to him?
Say it again.
How many people have to answer for that title before it would even get to him? It's a lot of people between him and that title.
Yep.
And they don't look at the title as a derogatory term.
But you realize you're making an excuse, right?
Y'all done made 58,000 excuses.
If you call a Chinese man a derogatory term about Chinese people, you think that's okay?
It's the real freak. Oh, wait, can you go back?
Heck, in any case, if we were to call a Chinese person a derogatory name, most likely we'd be charged with a hate crime based on the Asian hate crime bill.
Mm-hmm.
No, not really.
Hey, I'm gonna say, look, that truth teller, hey, Truth, the word sucker came up by way of Roger via Kev, the great reset. That's how it came, man. I just put emphasis on some suckers. That's Roger. That's Roger.
You blaming me for what came out your mouth.
That's Roger.
It's my fault. Ain't this boy?
Hey,
I just think we do a lot of excuse making.
Hey, I was supposed to get in a while back, fellas.
What Gold P did right there was some sucker shit.
Thank you, brother.
With the ER, man.
Thank you, brother.
The ER.
With the ER. Hey, no, I was just saying, I want to be clear that I'm FBA. I've used that word countless amount of times, so I'm not demonizing anything. But I had to really look at myself and see when I'm using that word. If you guys really observe when you use that word to another black man, it's not endearing, man. It is not. Just look at the context. Maybe one time out of 20, it might be endearing, but it's not endearing. You're kind of bringing them down a level when you call them that, man. And if I'm speaking about, let's see, Black Uru, Raj, any of you fellas on the panel, if I want to be endearing to you guys, I'm not going to use the N-word. I'm not going to refer to you. I'm going to say a brother, a black man. That's what I'm going to say. It's not endearing, fellas. I understand why we use it, fellas. I understand why we use it. We love the word. I get it. Go ahead.
I rock with you 100%. But this about somebody else walking in the room calling us niggas. This ain't about us. A white man came into a room, he called us niggas. This is what this about. It's not about a black man coming in here calling us a nigga.
Roger, but they hide behind us though, Roger. They hide behind us.
Hey Jado, listen, man. Look, I have to direct this back to Black Rural because he said I did some sucker type stuff, man. That was Roger who did some sucker type stuff, man.
Hey man, how Gold P still got a mic? I don't even understand. But Jado, here's the difference. Jado. If you come into the room it's me and you. You come into the room and you just meet me for the first time. You say, "What's up, my nigga?" And I'll be like, "Hey, bro, don't call me nigga." You gonna be like, "Okay, bro, respect," and we cool. If a white man walk in and he meet me for the first time, he say, "What's up, my nigga?" I'm gonna punch him in the face.
I don't
He
see what's
don't.
wrong
He
with
don't even get a second chance.
Also, Jado, for you to say that they're hiding behind us, that literally acknowledges that they're hiding the true point. If you have to hide behind someone else and their meaning and their logic, that literally proves the point that they're not using it in an endearing like fashion, which is why context matters. And that's what I said earlier. Is
I'm
like
starting
if
to like
we're
this Giovanni dude more and more and more, y'all. I don't know where Giovanni come from, but I like you guys. You all good,
I,
brother. Forgive me
Giovanni
for
ate
earlier.
Giovanni ate breakfast this morning and he came ready.
yeah, I just happened to see it live, but like that was kind of again what I was saying earlier. Like again, if they're hiding behind us and saying that, well, that's why we use it. They have used that word in a negative fashion for decades. At what point did they suddenly say, okay, we're going to use it in an endearing fashion now? Never. It was never that transition. We FBAs transformed it and used it within our own community, amongst our own communication for that reason, to kind of, as we say, lessen or soften the blow, or again use it as an endearing form. They didn't. They never have. They never will. And whether it's the N word, like Black Guru myself said earlier, there's 1,000 other words that they're going to use. Again, you admitted it. They're hiding behind us, so they're not being truthful. That's really it. That's
Oh,
really what it comes down to.
Hey, Roger, Roger,
100%. This
hold up,
deception, man.
Roger,
That's
Roger,
it. They've been running.
Here- here- here-
Correct. So there's
Roger,
no excuse then.
Roger,
here's
Roger.
the point I'm going to.
Let's get Tunnel Runner in there real quick, y'all, because he ain't
Yeah,
said much. Let's let Tunnel Runner get in there real quick. Go ahead.
20 years ago, there was a word that people would joke with, the F word, that the alternative lifestyle didn't like. Now that they have power, you cannot say that F word. They can say it among themselves, but if you say it, you will get canceled.
And
And
you know
that's
what?
only 20 years.
That's a good point.
Hold on, because if you have any observation of those people, you know they use that word all the time amongst each other. They gleefully
Exactly.
use that word amongst each other.
Yeah.
They
And I'm gonna say,
luxuriously use that. And guess what?
Well, here's
I'm
what I want to
okay
say.
with I'm let me finish. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
okay with not saying a word. I'm okay with them having the exclusive on that word amongst them, because what I know is they have probably adapted that word in the same way and for the same reasons that many black people have adapted the N word, because they went through all the gay stuff, they went through all the AIDS stuff and all that came with that, and they mentally and emotionally adapted that word as sort of a survival kind of mechanism. So I understand that psychologically. And I don't have to be a part of that because I'm not a part of that community.
now
Yeah,
I
but
gotta
here's
say
the
something.
thing.
I gotta say something real quick. Then I'm gonna give it to Champ, who was about to say something. Look, y'all, I don't even remember that word ever even being used as derogatory. The F word, I don't ever remember that as derogatory toward gay folks, because we definitely said it when I was a kid and wasn't nobody gay. Okay, we said it all kinds of ways, and I never even knew. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm saying I was totally 100% unaware that it had anything to do with gay people whatsoever. And I still let them have the word. When they say, "Oh no, that's a term to do," I was like, "All right, well, I ain't got to say that. They can have it. It is what it is." That's just called respect.
Yep.
Somebody told me midget, believe it or not, is now a derogatory term for small people. They say little people. They say, call us little people. All right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? When they first told me, I was like, they was like, don't call, you shouldn't call them a midget. I was like, but it's a midget. What are you talking about? They said, no, that's derogatory. It's like, midget ain't derogatory. That's what it is. It's a condition. No, it's a derogatory term. Okay, if it's a derogatory term, they can have it. I don't care. I don't have an intention to go out and trying to hurt somebody over something that'll make them cry, something that they'll be hurt about, something that's that important to them, because I respect people. If I can respect people, I can require respect from people. So I purposely let certain stuff go because I know it's gonna hurt other people in some real way. It is not that serious for me to hurt you. It's that simple. So if you ain't one of us and you steady trying to call us a nigga some kind of way, I understand your intention is to hurt me. I'm not gonna be cool with somebody who has the intention to hurt me. It's that simple at the end of the day.
Yeah, and
Roger, man. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Damn,
champ.
I said, champ, go P don't respect nobody today. Man,
I said go ahead. See, I said go ahead, man. I didn't see. You see what I'm talking about? Roger be on that sucker type stuff, man.
No, we did.
I said go ahead, champ. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna use my 2 minutes and I'm gonna land my plane for the rest of the day. Okay. And I'm glad because white folks never their intention to use the N-word was to dehumanize us and use it to weaponize us and everything else and basically that's what they're trying to do. That's why they're using these code words like YM, ninjas, and everything else. And they're trying to do what they're doing is that because of today's society right now, when they're getting bold, when white supremacy is getting hot and everything else, they're going on cameras using the N-word and everything else and raising money, from all these suspected white supremacists and everything else. So I just want to say for everybody, be prepared. Just be prepared for for them when they use that word and everything else. Just be prepared for potential conflict and everything else. I'm gonna land my plane. Thank you, Roger, for this subject.
Hey,
Well said.
appreciate you,
Now,
brother. Appreciate you.
I want to say, hold on.
We tired of you saying we don't want to hear it.
Come back up. I think Shark is trying to come back up.
No, I just let Shark in once because he said he was landing his plane for good, so I just waited on him to go ahead and get finished. Then brought Shark back. So Shark back with us. So now Shark, why don't you go ahead and say something before Gold P? Because at least you had to wait. And now I'm just messing with Gold P.
So when
Let's go ahead. Go ahead, Shark.
When Jado said they hide behind us, we already know they don't use the word as a term of endearment, but they'll give Charlemagne a job so he can say the word, and they're saying the word through him, even though he's saying it as a term. Well, which y'all say he's saying it as a term of endearment, because even when he uses the word, it's describing somebody in a derogatory way. You understand?
He's their tool. He's their tool. You're right.
That's what Jado was trying to express to y'all. Like we already know white people don't use the word as a term of endearment, and the ones that think they using it, it's just crazy. Like I think like Uru said, we need to have this damn Negro committee and have a vote on this, and hopefully we could just vote it all the way out the way. But we all know that white people don't use the word as a term of endearment when they're talking about African American people.
What the white people use it in the title of this show.
And functional.
Well, hey, Roger, you
Black really talking. We all stop when Black Rule speaks. Man, could you please stop being so disrespectful today? Go ahead, Black Rule.
Sucker.
I didn't say nothing.
Functionally, if you really, what's the name of the CEO or whatever of
Bob Pittman?
The iHeart.
Bob Pittman.
Functionally, if you really want to punish Pittman, you would have to destroy the Breakfast Club. You don't punish Pittman by protesting him or whatever. You damage a profitable entity of iHeart. So you would have to punish Charlemagne and the Breakfast Club in order to ultimately get to Pittman. That's the way it would actually work.
And that goes with the point I was making earlier. The problem is Charlemagne. He is purposely pushing forward the agenda of these people, and he's doing it knowingly. He don't care.
But Kev, you can't say that if we're saying we as black people can use the word. Charlemagne is a black person.
I mean, on some level, I know it's levels to this, man. But on some level, we all are pushing this forward.
Hold on.
Every single one of us.
Let me say this real quick. Cause shout out to Chef Mike. He said, Raj, you can't cut Black Rule either. Hey, when he started talking, I stopped. That's why I said something to Gold P, because I heard him and I stopped, and then I said something to Gold P.
No, Roger. I stopped. No, Roger, you trying to set me up for failure, Roger.
No, I ain't saying you. I'm just saying what happened.
You trying to set Roger, you trying to set me up for failure. You said Roger. You said no, Roger said, okay, Shark Sims come up. Roger said, okay, Shark Sims came up. You go after Shark Sims, go P. And then Black Guru started speaking. And I said, okay. No, Roger said, oh, you being so disrespectful. You being disrespectful.
Man, they can go check the tape, brother. That's all I'm saying. They can go check the tape. I was saying something. And I heard
I was listening to the tape.
Brother. I was saying something, then I heard him. I backed off of what I was saying because he has elder privilege, and then I was shocked because you wouldn't back off. That's why
I did back off. I did, man. I didn't say nothing. Roger, you on some sucker type stuff right now, bro. You being derogatory, Roger. You being derogatory. Where's my apology, man? Where's my apology, man?
Yo, Roger, these last 2 weeks, you and Gold P been getting us a talking to from Chef. I'm just let you know that. Truth Teller been good. Uber don't never get in no trouble. Jado it's always you, Gold P, and Kev, man.
I'll be trying to
that's Roger. No, that's Roger, man. That's Roger, man. No.
I'm trying to move the show forward before somebody suit gets snatched, because Chef Mike making a lot of comments right now. I'm trying to get him to stop.
Well, stop saying stuff then, Roger.
Can you please calm down? So we
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Sucker, child turkey.
I'm not going to even respond because I don't want to get in no trouble right now. I'm not even responding. Okay. Shout out to you, Gold P. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to you, brother. Appreciate the military service.
So yo, people. So Kev, if we come to the consensus that no one is going to say the N-word no more, then Charlemagne won't be saying the N-word no more. And the Bob Backer, whatever the white guy's name is, Bob Backer can't use Charlemagne to say it because Charlemagne's not going to say it. Now Bob got to say it himself. As soon as Bob say it, that's his ass.
Well, my thing is Bob did say it through the title. See, I said I didn't have a problem with the content itself. It's the title that they put there with that content. That's what the issue is, because that title is telling people it's okay to call us niggas in public. That's what that title does. I understand Charlemagne Black. I get that. I understand how Jess Hilarious was using when she even mentioned it. I get all that. But when you put it as a title, that you're going to call some 16-year-old a young nigga, you know what I'm saying? This dude fighting for his life right now. I don't know his story, so I don't know if he's in the wrong, in the right, or what. I don't know his story. Okay, maybe I'll look into the story. Might go over that tomorrow, possibly, but I don't know his story. But what I'm not going to do without knowing his story is just start calling him derogatory terms to help other people feel some type of way about him, to make him even more guilty than what he already is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that to him. So, now, he could totally 100% be wrong. I just don't know at this point.
So what you saying about the Bob guy? Okay, when Clive Davis, because you know Clive Davis owns 51% of Bad Boy Records, right? Is he saying nigga when Biggie Smalls, when he puts out an album, when he has the record label that Biggie Smalls drops his albums on, and the word niggas all through the joint? Is that Clive Davis saying nigga?
No, that's Biggie saying nigga.
So how is this?
No, it was Clive saying nigga too. Clive is saying nigga too, and this how we know Clive is saying nigga, because he's the executive producer of or one of the executive producers of Bad Boy.
Thank you.
Yeah, he can sit.
I'm gonna say this real quick, and then you got it, Jado.
No.
If Biggie wants to name the album something, and Clive say no, you can't even name it that. We gonna name it this some nigga. You see what I'm saying? That's a problem.
Yeah, Bob didn't do that. Bob let them do their thing, and that's what they put up on the website.
I'm not even accusing Bob of that. What I'm saying is, clearly this is okay throughout the entire culture, because this video been up for 9 months, and I just came across it, and the title hasn't been changed yet. So this ain't just him. He just happens to be the head of it all. This ain't just him. It's a lot of people in between the person who put that title in there and him. It's a whole lot of people, I'm sure.
Well,
But go
there's
ahead,
been
Jill.
some general.
No, I'm good.
There's a
I'm good, bro.
broadening cultural. There's a broadening cultural acceptance of the term, and I would wager probably the most. I would wager that more than probably any other group of people. I would wager most of the listeners, or proportionately per capita, most of the listeners of the Breakfast Club are black females, and black females use that term religiously now.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's an element of that whole YN thing too. They've made it into a kind of pet name of some sort, and I'm not even using the term pet euphemistically. I mean, if you listen to them when they use that term, they're kind of referring to these young black men in a diminished human state. If you listen to how they refer to them, and then there's also this growing sexual element associated with it, like they're basically referring to them as sort of human dildos. Listen to them when they use that term. So I think that we haven't really mentioned it here, but there's black women are very much into this YN thing. Very much so. I don't hear, in fact, I don't hear very many black men specifically use that term.
Well, I do know black women want white men to call us niggas, and they're gonna help them get that done any way they can, and that's just real talk. So, if a black woman actually came up with this title, wouldn't surprise me at all. But I've said time and time again, if you just pay attention to them, most of them white supremacists anyway. That's why it don't shock me.
True.
And that's something black men need to really get a grasp on so they can understand what's going on in their real lives. Why they getting certain results that they're getting. You are entrusting a lot of stuff you shouldn't entrust to a white supremacist. Here's what it is.
Yeah, but
it doesn't get white people
you
off
have
the hook.
black women, and then you have black women, but then you have these bitch made black men like Charlemagne. Remember when Damon Dash was on his show a few months ago, and he was basically repeatedly calling Charlemagne a bitch. Don't you all remember that?
Yeah,
I remember that.
And yeah, so I kind of put it in the context of this sort of this kind of female bitch made kind of thing where that word is being used. That's a part of this. Because like I said, I don't see very many brothers use that term. But I see a lot of black women who use that term.
And my thing is, it's just a problematic term, period. Because it is a way for white people to call you nigga to your face and expect nothing to happen. Just like the white guy did in the video that I put up.
I think the problem is it's just another phrase they're using to coin and celebrate degeneracy. Like, how do you come up with a term of endearment that celebrates degeneracy? This is it's so stupid.
That's what I'm trying to figure out too, Kev.
Man,
go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
We're addicted to degeneracy, bro. We're addicted to degeneracy, and we should reject anything that connects us as a people and as a culture to degeneracy. So this term not be used.
You went out, Kev.
Yeah, he gone, I guess. He might be in a tough situation to get a signal or whatever. But I'm gonna say this. For me, I have a policy of holding people accountable to what they did. So because I have that policy, when you present what somebody else did, it don't get the person that I'm looking at off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
The white man, Bob Pittman, this on him because this is 9 months up. And it's on everybody between the person who put that up there, everybody between him and up. Whatever that power structure is, because somebody got a boss to somebody, to somebody, to somebody. It goes all the way up to him, and it should have been rectified after 9 months.
Yes, sir. And he said,
but can a white person
he
tell a
said it
black
best. That
person not
means
to
that
say
they
the N-word?
operating off of that.
Sorry about that.
It comes from the top. Order comes from the top. So if that means he up top, this behavior is okay with us.
So can the white man tell us not to say the N-word?
No.
So there you go.
I don't get the there you go part. Because we don't own the Breakfast Club.
No, if he's the boss, right? He's saying that the N-word is ours to use solely. No white person should be using it. Nobody, period, should be using it other than us. And Charlemagne and them do their job and they put it together and they use the title YN, et cetera, et cetera. Can the white man tell them you can't use YN? You got to put black brother or
He can't
African
tell
American.
all black people. He can't tell all black people on earth not to use the term, but he can tell the people don't use it in the media within the iHeart Corporation. He can definitely do that.
And why would a white man do that for us?
And hold fast.
Because we telling him
that's
to.
moving. Hold on,
This is what we saying.
That's moving the goalposts. The question is not whether or not. The question is not why. The question is not whether he can do it. He can certainly do it.
And I'm saying at the end of the day, who owns the content makes a difference. Ain't no black people to my understanding own the Breakfast Club. This is the Breakfast Club's content. It ain't Charlemagne's content. It ain't DJ Envy's content. It ain't Jess Hilarious content. They just people who work there. They didn't name it that. Somebody who works for the Breakfast Club, the owner of the content, which is owned by other people, they made that decision, not them three sitting up there. So my thing is, that's that black face instead of look. We rather sometimes to protect white people look at a black face than hold a white person responsible. Ain't no black person responsible for this. It's a white person at the head of this. Now you can say there's a black person who may have came up with the title, or maybe they got a manager. Well, see, if all of them go down in the flux too, I don't care. Because you was in position to do something about it and you didn't do it. And that if it costs you your job, I got to be okay with that.
But that's what I'm saying. That goes back to what Jado said. Why would your enemy try to represent you in a good manner?
It don't go back to what Jado said. What I'm saying is, stop looking at this as if black people control it. This is not a black-owned company. They shouldn't have did it, period. They don't have no permission slip to do this. Are we trying to give them one?
Like we throw around the word accountable a lot, and I think it's it's convoluted, very convoluted at this point. Like, how do we hold these certain people accountable?
They're trying to get us do. They're trying to give license to use this word, and Charlemagne is the catalyst.
The word has been licensed to man, fellas, man, come on, bro.
Jay,
No. They're giving license.
It's just the latest. It's just the latest.
They've always used some form of that word or what other word. So how are we now licensing it? Okay, how about this? If we just never used it, would they simply not use it now?
Women call.
No, they would still do it.
No,
women call.
Oh, I put in the chat earlier.
Women call each other bitches and hoes all the time, all over the place, everywhere. If you in a group observing women, let me finish, please. If you're in a group observing women over any period of time, at some group of them at some point, they will be calling each other bitches and hoes. Show me the Breakfast Club video that's titled "Bitches and Hoes." Show me that one. Show it to me. Are you all aware of any?
Absolutely not.
Show me the
Nope.
iHeart video. Show me the iHeart video where, even though right now as we talking, millions of women calling each other bitches and hoes. While we're talking right now,
I
a
ain't
lot of
seen
them
it.
black women. Show me the video. Show me the podcast stream featured by iHeartRadio or Breakfast Club or whatever, bitches and hoes talking. Show me that one.
I never seen it, Uru.
Touche.
And you ain't about to see it. And my thing is, this is not about them coming to us for permission, because white people ain't never did that. They don't come to us for permission. Now, back in the day, people would have been like, look, they did this. We're going to tell them to change it. Matter of fact, we're going to cut them off until it's changed. See, that's what black people used to do back in the day. We was more about hitting you in the pocketbook.
You got
Oh,
more capitulation now.
now that somebody just made me aware, we don't mess with the Breakfast Club, period.
Like, Roger, I think we are the only group of people that's really thinking on this level. Because I just had this conversation with my mother, and she was saying YNs like it was a cool word to say, and I had to let her know, like, that means young nigger. And she was like, "Oh, for real? I just be hearing your brother and his friends saying it, et cetera, et cetera."
I mean, at the end of the day, somebody got to check somebody, and it includes family. So my
So,
thing is, you did what you were supposed to do.
Start with the
but
men. Start with us.
No.
Men, black patriarchy.
No. You start with everybody. You don't fix nothing, and once you want to fix the whole thing. There's no entity in life where you can fix something without attempting to fix the whole thing.
And see, and y'all that's what I'm saying. Like, we keep trying to say, "Oh, you're trying to look out for the white guy. You're trying to look out for the white guy." Like Jado said, the white man is using you to say it. He's literally letting you say it for him.
And you know what? He better stick to. Because if he says it's supposed to be an automatic problem, it shouldn't be nothing to think about. It should be nothing to consider. You already know you out of pocket. And the fact that you're 18 and over and not aware that you out of pocket, you need something to happen to you to get you back in the pocket.
So the only thing we can do is catch Charlemagne at the store and let him know, like, yo, don't be using that terminology, especially on the radio or anything.
Charlemagne ain't white. He can do stuff white people can't.
Then so that's what I'm trying to. Well, then the white guy is taking the job and he's putting it up on his. But like this is. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a chain reaction of things. And
I get where you coming from. A white person can't do what you can do.
Wait a minute. I don't sanction Charlemagne using that term on that white people broadcast.
That's what I'm trying to say,
Guru.
No, I'm not saying I sanction it either. What I'm saying is, because at least when people see Charlemagne, they're gonna see a black man. But that ain't got nothing to do with that white man titling his content, because this ain't Charlemagne's content.
That's kind of a good point, Roger.
You can't.
Black, you bring up a point. Hold on, real quick. You bringing up this point where you got black people on these platforms, right? And these platforms are not ours, but they are utilizing our culture, right, to attain revenue for these platforms. And I'm gonna go further with it. A lot of these platforms don't even get back to the very listeners that they getting all they gain in the vibration. Basically, the product is like we like cows to everybody. At some point, we have to sue. You ask, what do we do? First off, we need to hone who we are. That's number one. Who are we? Name ourselves, solidified as an entity. Now, as an entity, we do what every other entity does. We move as an entity. If somebody disrespects your company, that's called something, and now I can sue. You understand?
And
legally, it is a hate term. Like law-wise, it is called hate speech. The only way you can really prove it is if you put it on video. So if you got somebody on video hate speaking you, intimidating you, right? That now can go. Now we can go legally. in a direction. Start extracting their revenue. I get it, hit them in the mouth. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the old play.
Look, bro. But
I'd rather hit them in the bank account.
No. But this the thing. This the thing.
And the mouth.
None of them black people on the Breakfast Club own the Breakfast Club. They're not responsible. They're just employees doing their job. Why is it so hard to look at the person who owns it when he happens to not be black? We don't have no problem looking at black people who own stuff when we got a problem with something that black people did. It's never an issue. That nigga, he do this, he owned this, it's his fault. Well, now a white person own it. So why is it so hard to look at the white man and say it's a problem with him? Because this ain't no black people's content. Black people all across the internet is arguing about other black people, arguing about their content and what that person said and what that person did. I don't see no problem with black people saying something about what some other black person had. How come we can't say it about what the white guy got?
Because the black face is covering it up. That's why it's simple as that.
I don't know.
A black person is covering it up.
I view it kind of differently because I look at it like, okay, the guy, I forget his name, who sold out Fred Hampton. Now, he was hired, by the CIA or whatever group, right? To do what he did, right? So is it just all the white CIA fault what he did? Or is it his fault as well? See, to me, I can't just put that all on the CIA. Because, nigga, you actually did it.
Exactly.
You know, so I mean, I hear what you're saying, Roger, and I'm all for putting the finger on the CEO. I mean, I think iHeart is publicly traded, so there's a lot of people technically who probably own shit. You might partially own iHeartRadio. You know,
I got to sell some shares. I got to sell some shares because of this.
So you in some mutual fund or whatever, you know, who knows who actually owns it. But ironically, Roger, the only way you would be able to punish him would be you would have to punish Charlemagne, because it would only reach him if that particular part of that corporation was negatively impacted, which would of course obviously negatively impact Charlemagne because he's the lead figure of it. So you'd have to hurt Charlemagne to hurt that white man. You'd have to do that.
That's the cost of doing business.
Roger, let me ask you a question, Roger.
Let me just say this real quick. Sometimes, y'all, it's just the cost of doing business. You know, if Charlemagne got to go down with the ship,
I see what you're
cost of doing business.
Collateral damage. I'm not mad at that.
But go ahead, ask your question.
Here's the question. If the white man went directly to Charlemagne and said, Charlemagne, I want you to do this show about these young niggas. And he went right out there and did exactly what the white man said. Is he wrong?
I mean, right and wrong is contextual, but there would be a
just answer the question as I stated it. Is he wrong?
No, he is wrong.
All right. This is what happened. This is exactly what happened. The man handed him a sheet. Somebody from up top handed him a sheet. I guarantee you one of us hand him a sheet and say, hey, this is what y'all talking about today. He's just as wrong as a white man.
I totally get what you're saying. And my issue is ain't no black person gonna have an issue holding Charlemagne accountable. I ain't made Charlemagne the issue purposely. I'm holding the white folks accountable.
No, yeah, but you can't separate Charlemagne from the white man in this one.
I don't care what happens to Charlemagne if something happens to the Breakfast Club. I don't care.
Okay. All right.
It's the cost of doing business. When you sully yourself into certain stuff get on you. It is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, but Roger, listen, man. If the guy is saying if the up top The CEO says, "Hey, you guys can do a show like this. You can do a show." And then Charlemagne and whomever else is on this show, they are responsible for what they say. They don't necessarily have to use the language. They can do the
That's
show,
right.
but you don't have to use the language.
Bro,
That's
but
right.
they
That's
did use
true.
the language. They used it right there in the title, which means the white folks who own this are endorsing other
Okay,
people to call black folks
okay,
niggas. That's
okay.
what
But
the white people
if it's a
did.
show of no, if it's a show of entertainment, okay, the show may say this, but they're in control of what they say, how they utilize the wording, the
Okay,
language.
The
okay, then it's
title
gonna
of
cost
the
you. Oh,
show is
Roger.
of the show owned by the white people did what they did.
So
That's
just like
on them.
just like any
But
other hold on,
can
brother.
I
Just
also
like
say,
anywhere else, there is
Now what?
there's a fee. When you say something you ain't got no business, they have the right to fine you. But again, we have not established any infrastructure within that system that says, "Hey, you talk to black men, black patriarchy this way." You don't say that. There's no, and we have to enforce it. There's no one there to inspect what you expect or
No,
enforce what it is that's supposed to happen. So
can
I
this is
no
that.
no.
can I say, I have, I mean, this is kind of an aside, but it's something that bothered me uh, about this. I have a problem with making Donkey of the Day a minor. I have a major problem with that. Now, first of all, I have a problem with minors being charged and tried as adults. I have a major problem with this picking and choosing of who is or who's not an adult. You can't rent a car, but yet you can be treated as an adult for committing a crime. I have a problem with that. And likewise, I have a problem with making a child, a minor child. I have a problem with a minor child being featured this way. I don't care what he's being convicted of. I think it's irresponsible to do that. And the fact that it's a black male, to me, it is very much some black misandrous, hatred, racist stuff. I think that doing that was profoundly racist. To a 16-year-old, he got convicted. The system tried him as an adult. I think that's wrong. I think it's immoral. I think it should be illegal. I think there's a reason why we treat children one way and adults another way. And as heinous as what he did, you punish him as a child, give him whatever kind of potential rehabilitative stuff, and then hopefully it works out. But you don't pick and choose whether or not somebody's a child. And then you don't treat them as you would an adult when they've done something wrong. I think it's awful what they were doing there. I think it's terrible what they were doing there. And okay, they treated him like a child, they convicted him. Don't feature the shit on a damn radio station. That's deplorable. He's 16 years old. He did a terrible thing. The law dealt with him. You don't make him subject to some sort of pop shit. You don't do that. It's awful what they did there.
And then they called him a nigga on top of all of that. Now, my thing is, I get what you was saying, creator, but at the end of the day, white people own this.
I'm with you.
It's
I'm with you. I'm
no,
just
I know
saying,
you with me,
I
but
can't
I'm just saying this
I'm
for
not exempting
no.
none of
I know you with me, but I'm saying this because this is for audience sake. White people own this, man. At the end of the day, are we cool with white people calling us niggas or not? To me, that's the only real question. And if white people can call us niggas and you cool with it, then you're gonna have to accept a lot more beyond just them calling you a nigga. Now you call me a nigga, it's gonna be a problem. That's for sure. I don't care where I am. I don't care who you are. You could be a police officer. You call me a nigga, it's gonna be a problem. Now maybe I can't get you at that moment, but I swear for God. Well, let me not swear for God, because I ain't supposed to do that. But I promise you, it will be revisited. it ain't just gonna go away. That ain't happening. It ain't just gonna go away. Call me a nigga and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? And I want people to understand, just because it don't happen at that moment, don't mean it ain't happening. I'm gonna put myself in position to win, and then I'm gonna handle my business.
That's why I say, what does that look like? You know, for some people, again, that's considered, for those of us in self-defense or whatnot, we understand that assault starts with your words and your actions. So depending on, you know, what you say and how you moving, you know what I mean, it can be accepted as assault. If you saying something reckless and you moving towards me, that's direct assault. If you just talking reckless, yeah, okay, it's a verbal assault, which can be met with still consequences. And that's where I think on a top level, I think that's where they've dropped the ball. Even on a legal level, you know what I'm saying? Somebody dropped the ball and just felt that comfortable that you can just speak any type of way about these particular people, right? And the confidence that there would be no retribution, right? No pushback, knowing dang on well we on these spaces and we can't say nobody's ethnicity how we want to. We got to make up names, you know, we can't even say it. So just the dynamics of that, I think that's where it comes, where I was saying black men, you know, it started with us, you know, first. And how it starts with us is saying that, you know what, we set the apex morality for us. No one else sets the morality for us. We set the morality, and the morality bar is not the lowest of what goes on and what you think goes on. The apex bar is what we say it is, and you abide by that. Now, how do we enforce what we want? Right?
Now,
how do we enforce this?
Now, I'm gonna say this to add to what you're saying. At the end of the day, this been out here for 9 months. I'm just now seeing it. Now, it didn't take me no 9 months to say something about it. So everybody who saw this, you ought to be ashamed of yourself if you ain't said nothing. Real talk. To see what they was talking about and then read that title and you thought that was cool and you ain't say nothing, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Real talk.
Honestly,
you got to stand up for yourself first.
The angle Uru was just presented with him being a minor and all that, I definitely feel what he's saying with that. But people seeing this and they just seen YN, it's Charlemagne from the Brett. I don't even think people looked into it, as understood it as deep as you explaining it right now. And I definitely appreciate you coming at it from that angle. But my mom's or one of my little cousins, they not seeing, they just seeing Charlemagne the God saying YN because he's from the hood. He's from the culture that we all love as hip hop and hip hop media, et cetera, et cetera. So like Creator was saying, we need to have the word nigga on a list of slurs that can't be said.
Well, once again, man, it's about how you use your words. Many of us heard that word, that term before, that phrase. Use your words, right? You in control. And we on this panel right now, right? We talking to each other as men, as people who rock with each other, and that's their understanding. We use our words, man, right? Because we have an understanding that certain words can cause a whole fallout. Certain ways you say it can cause a whole fallout. We say use your words.
But somebody else used it.
Is there no Breakfast Club video named Bitches and Hoes Talking?
Because them bitches and hoes they will rain down
Never.
Thunder. They will rain down thunder.
But they use the term. But they use the term themselves amongst themselves.
Yeah, but I bet you they not at work. They not. They not at. I'm sorry.
Not outlawed that term. They have not outlawed that term. They use that term freely amongst themselves.
Yeah, but they're not at work. They're not at work using those terms, right?
They have not had a YB convention to say we're not going to use that term anymore.
Well,
that ain't happening.
Well, the YN terminology encompasses all of the young people.
Well, I'm gonna say this, y'all. At the end of the day, the content is owned by somebody. I am 100% sure that the Breakfast Club is not owned by black people. This is a subsidiary of a big company. At the end of the day, what you did is one thing. What somebody else did is something else. And just because you did something, don't justify somebody else doing it. It's that simple at the end of the day. If I hit my little brother, I didn't give you permission to hit him. That's my little brother.
Damn, but ooh, that was a good point, man. Like, why is that word like the bitch in the hole? But yo, man, that's a good.
I said it's profound, bro. Just say that right there, and then that lets you know.
And
right
that's
intent
that's
and
my
deliberation.
that's my point. That's my point. See, and that's why I'm careful about why we gonna vilify each other for whatever we think about that particular word when other people get to say all kinds of other shit, and there is no demonization or punishment or anything, and they protect each other from that being presented in such a way in which it would be deemed negative. It's only used against black men, and I think we have to be careful that we don't contribute further to the negativization, that we're not critiquing each other. Now, like I say, if we're gonna all get together and say we're not gonna use that term collectively, I'm good with that. But until we do, I'm not gonna chastise other brothers for doing it, because I know it means lots of different things in lots of different situations.
Well, my thing is, it's an issue that we can't say they can't use it. To me, that's just an automatic issue. How can they use? I don't care what y'all saying about what each other doing. How can they use it against you, and you had any way to be okay with that?
Well, we all came to this consensus that came to the consensus that they can't say it to us.
Well, then what's the fight for when they put it on their content? That's their content. It's not ours.
No, that show is ran by black people, Roger.
Those black faces over it. Most black people don't even consider a white guy behind the scenes controlling stuff. That black face is over it.
And you know what? It's time to be smart about what we're doing, which is why I presented it.
That's right. He's talking about an apex way of doing things, not a regular way of doing things.
And to be honest, I mean, a lot of black people they have no problems with that with the YN term, man. They just don't have the problem with it.
We changed it. We the black patriarchy. We saying I got a problem with it. Your daddy got a problem with it. Your grandpa, Papa said he don't want you saying that shit. So now what?
What you gonna do when they use it? Are we gonna quote unquote hold them accountable? Because if we ain't gonna hold somebody quote unquote accountable, it don't mean nothing.
Well, my thing is you can hold people accountable. Because if you mess with the Breakfast Club, this is a good reason to stop. You know, when I asked that question about would you find somebody guilty or not guilty, you let me know you called him a nigga before he got into it with you. Ain't no way in the world I'm convicting that dude. That's a you problem now. You called him a nigga, he beat you down. I'm good with that. You had some medical complications, you died. Talk to the Lord, man. Get that figured out between y'all. It's not even an issue for me. It's that simple at the end of the day. If I was in charge and I could find out all the people between whoever put that title up and Bob Pittman, I let them all go. Don't make me no difference. It just is what it is. Now, as a content creator, what's my job about holding people accountable? I can bring this to the light, which I'm doing. So I'm doing my part. I just can't do everybody else's part for them.
No, Roger. I mean, I hope you're not. I'm not going at you at all. I hope you're not taking it that way. I'm pretty sure you're not, but I'm just saying, I'm
not even thinking in that term.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's always a way for individuals to use their individual power to hold somebody accountable for something. I'm using mine.
Well, I Jado, I don't have a problem going at Roger. I don't have a problem. Forget Roger. You know, if Roger wrong, he wrong. You know what I'm saying? Forget that.
People have all the outrage that they want, right? Whatever. They can bomb people's chats and really have all the outrage to influence, right? Whatever they want to influence. But when it comes to something really, whenever we do have issues, everybody always wonder, what can we do, in order to enforce what it is that we want? And it's really just behavior. Like I don't even mess with people. So when you stop messing with people that behave a certain way, they get lonely. And it's social. It's just really social. Either you're gonna tune up or you're gonna tune out.
Hey man, that's I agree with that, man. Hey, use your words, man. Use your words.
When I look at racism, man, like mostly, man, you're not going most of the time. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, man, obviously, but white people ain't gonna directly call. They're not gonna call no black person a nigga. They're not gonna do it. This stuff is
9 months ago.
It's cold. But I'm just saying this stuff is covert, man. It's covert. It's refined, man. Of course you have some right. I'm saying this stuff is about refinement and covert, making things covert to where it's not even easily detectable. So people don't even see it that way, man. We're so conditioned with the N word so much, man. It really doesn't mean nothing. I suspect in about 30, 40, 50 years, I think everybody's going to be calling everybody niggas, man.
Yeah. Well, I would say this, man. I would say, look. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying at that point, that's where this is exactly what we talking about, moving in an apex way. If you can think forward, if you can foresight, you got that type of foresight to even just be playing thinking like that will be a uh-oh moment, right? Let me start getting me together, right, on how I need to move and prepare for the future. Because you just said, hey, I think the whole world going to be ignorant.
Well, this goes back to the question Roger was asking. Would the guy be guilty because the dude got beat down because he called him the N-word, right? And I'm saying, yeah, he'll be guilty because people been calling you stuff all your life. Now you gonna go hard? No, you don't set yourself up for failure like that. No, don't be no sucker out here, man.
No, my thing is this, bro. If somebody created a fight and they lose the fight they created, why would I even care? You, as a white man, called a black man a nigga. You created a fight. The black man won the fight. Why did you start a fight that you couldn't win? That's just stupid. And unfortunately, in that scenario, he would have lost his life. That's not my problem.
Yeah, but the black guy loses the fight too because he engaged.
No. The problem is you won't stand up for another black man. If I'm on the jury, he's not getting convicted. He called him a nigga in the story.
Roger, with all due respect, man, it wasn't a lot of context. It wasn't a lot of context to your scenario. I know you did that purposefully. I understand it, man. And then it's very easy for us hypothetically to say what we gonna do, man. This isn't into anybody. When we're sitting here on the panel and we're not in the closed room with other jury members and all that. Yeah, man, the black man. Yeah, I'm gonna. He's going to be not guilty. It's easy for us to say that, man.
Your scenario is each individual's answer. Whatever scenario that's why they have juries. Each scenario in each individual's head is different to lead them
to correct.
Decision. And at the end of the day, I still have to explain why I feel that way. I can't just be like, oh, because he was a black man, and that's why I said not guilty. No, not at all. I have my reason on why I would feel that man.
I'm just saying us sitting here on this panel is not being in a jury room. Deliberate.
I don't get no better than live. Right here, everybody is who they are.
Well, let me say this though.
What get more potent than that?
Well, let me say this.
It sounds good, man.
I've been a person who, and I'm going to continue to do it. I keep encouraging black men to do everything you can to get on the jury. Real talk, because that's where you can create some change. So I guarantee you, if it was me, once you tell me what the story is, he started the fight by calling him a nigga, dude, burn up.
Well, that's why they ain't going to choose you, Roger. They ain't going to choose you.
No, ain't nowhere in the world as a black man, I'm about to find out a white man started a fight with a black man and just because he had some medical complication, he died because he lost the fight, then I'm gonna care that he lost that fight. Because that's all
Roger,
it is to me.
they're not gonna choose you, Roger. They're not gonna choose you because they're not gonna choose you because you can't be objective. You can't. Go ahead.
They are gonna choose me because if I'm in the process of being selected, I'm gonna give you the answer you want. So you'll select me. Did I tell y'all when I was in?
Roger, if they don't choose you, they choose me.
Yo,
Let me say
Roger.
it real quick.
We on the same accord.
I
All the brothers on the
think
same
it's going
accord.
to be
We
very
all on the same accord, and we
unlikely
get it done.
that if they can get away with it, I think it's very unlikely that a black man is going to be on that jury. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Roger is dreaming right now, man.
No. The umbrella legitimately against black men being on the jury just because of the numbers. That's a very true thing.
The decision is the same. The decision would still be the same, even if it was no black man on the jury, just by, again, morality. Hey, this man started something that he could not finish, period. Hands down. If you cannot finish it, don't start it. It's a simple judgment for all of us to make.
Well, if the man is in a wheelchair, if a man is in a wheelchair and he's trying to get up and go somewhere, wheel himself somewhere, and there's a black guy, he said, "Move out of the way, N-word," and blah blah blah. Is the black guy supposed to take off on it?
No, he could probably get sued though. He gonna get that suit. I'm gonna get that on video. Say that one more time.
He ain't supposed to take off on it, man.
Hey, if he hit him in the jaw, I ain't got no problem with that.
Oh, look, he is not supposed to take off on him because.
I still ain't got no problem with it. I still ain't got no problem with it.
I'm just saying when you add context,
what did Drago
if he dies, he dies. Hey, if he dies, he dies. But I'm just saying when he added that little bit of oh my bad, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I do want Jado to understand. I don't care. I heard that concept. I still don't.
Okay, right.
Yeah, we get that, Roger. We get that, Roger. But if the man is in a wheelchair and he's getting.
There's nothing you're going to tell me. If he called or somebody a nigga and that guy smacked him across the face, even if he was 98 years old and he died, he started a situation that he should have rethought. He old enough to know better.
No, Roger. No, I can't let you rock with that type of messenger, Roger. That's a sucker type move, Roger. That's a sucker type move. Because that man is in a wheelchair, he already got issues, and he see this black guy, young black guy. And he say, "Oh, get out of the way, N-word, you N-word." And then the young black guy goes up and socks him, and he falls out the chair, dies. Who's in the situation?
You didn't know that young black guy was mentally handicapped. You see what I'm saying? So I got to excuse his
we can only do
physical.
one at a time.
I got to excuse
we
his
can only
physical
do one at a
handicap
time,
for
y'all.
my mental handicap.
We got to let people be heard. We can only do one at a time. But I do want to say, just because it's my show, at the end of the day, you old enough to know better. I've been a person who promoted do not bother people, period. Since I done had a show, I keep saying I don't bother people. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know how your day is. I don't know what you just happened into. I'm not going to bother anybody. And I mean that. So if you start something and somebody else finishes what you started, don't look for me to have sympathy for you, because my rule is leave people alone.
Yeah, Roger, but you moving that, Roger. You moving that, Roger. No, Roger.
Let me hear what Tunnel Runner got to say. Let's hear what Tunnel Runner got to say. Go ahead, Tunnel Runner.
We talking all this stuff, but the weakest group of men will fight for their rights and their respect. And we as strong black men, all these excuses, we're being too nice. We have to just respect ourselves. And if we don't want them people to say it, they can't say it, because we are men and we demand respect. It's as simple as that. The people with the F word, they demand their respect, and you can't say it or they'll shut you down. We have to shut other people down from saying what we don't want them to say. As simple as that. Make an agreement and we come, and that's all we got to do. Tell them we do not allow them, just like you're saying right now, that shouldn't happen. And we make sure that doesn't happen anymore. That's what the other groups do. They shut stuff down.
So we telling the young kings that just to throw their whole life away over a word.
Why they
No,
like that to be in jeopardy? Why they got to have a life in jeopardy? Why can't it just be okay to respect them?
exactly. That's what other groups do. They don't kill it. They don't beat nobody up, kill nobody. They say you can't say it, and other groups don't say it. It's
Yeah.
simple as that.
And I'm gonna say shout out to Afro Merchant real quick. He say Roger has been consistent regardless how ruthless he sounds. Laugh out loud. And I'm gonna say I sure have. I've been steady promoting, leave people alone. So when I keep promoting, leave everybody alone, and you go out there and you start messing with people, and you gotta suffer bad consequences because you went out and bothered somebody, don't look for me to help you. That's on you.
Facts.
His name is Roger, and he's right.
Hey Roger, I think you would be steadfast in what you're saying, man. But in reality, if someone does that, he's going to get convicted of something. They're going to throw their lives are going to be thrown away over that word. In
Pray
reality,
Roger,
man.
pray Rogers on the jury, and pray listen to Rogers on their jury. Real time.
Okay, what's the chances of that happening?
Too.
See, boy, y'all legal team suck. Because my legal team wouldn't be thinking like that. My legal team would be like, you know what? Somebody taught that man to even say that word, and I'm going after them too. I'm gonna get on your nerves. You picked the wrong
Yeah,
one.
your whole legal team gonna lose, and
You're
you
gonna
paying you paying all the bills too, court bills too.
You're gonna lose a
You
lot of money,
losing.
bro.
It's
A
You
about
lot of
money,
money
losing.
and
bro.
time.
Sometimes it ain't about
A
it,
lot of
bro.
money and
They don't care
time.
about losing. They just like, hey, do you got enough money to keep coming to court and keep dealing with this mentally? Right? That's what they do. They wear you down. That way, they don't care about win or losing. That's why you have a
They gonna
right to a
milk
good
you.
word. It
They
ain't
gonna
about
milk
that with
you,
us.
man.
Yeah,
You
because
gonna
if
be
I'm
you gonna be setting up a GoFundMe and talking about, hey man, I need help. I shouldn't I did some sucker type stuff Roger told me to do.
because if I'm
Hey,
the lawyer of the other man, I'm gonna be like, well, you listen to music every day that call you a nigga. Now somebody call, like, yo,
I'm
you gonna get fried
I'm
in there.
disappointed in y'all
How so, Kev?
because the question still stands. If you're on the jury, you guys keep talking about other people. This tells me that if you were on the jury and this instance had happened between me and another man, that you would convict me out of fear of what other people think.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds
Without,
same to me like somebody's scared.
without no added context, bro. Like, come on, man.
Come on,
Like,
thank you. Y'all
let's
just
let's be
lied.
for
Y'all
real.
reaching now.
But
We're playing a game.
Rogers,
I don't like this game
yeah,
we play as black
not
men, bro.
that's not really
That's why I
Why do
pleaded
we
the
why do
fifth.
we
fair
play these games,
description
man?
of
hold
what we're
on.
actually saying.
That's why I pleaded the
Look,
fifth.
Why we need more context? Hold on.
because
you had a
he need
white
more context because he
Mexican,
uncomfortable
you
with
had
what
a
I
And I
white
guess
said.
and me
Mexican,
bringing this up makes me a coon, right?
you
No,
you
I
you
didn't say
had
any of
you
that.
had
Another
a
word that white people gave
you
us to
had
use against
I
each
didn't.
other.
Why? I didn't
you
say any
had
of that. I
I'm
didn't say
trying to calm
anything
I'm
No,
disrespectful.
trying to calm
I know you did. I know you didn't care.
I'm
I'm just
trying to
saying.
calm.
Like, I'm just saying. Yeah, my bad.
You had a white Mexican dude shoot down a black kid in cold blood in Florida, defenseless, with some
Amen.
Skittles and a fucking snap. And they exonerated that dude. So don't tell me no shit about me not signing off on a brother getting off on some bullshit.
Thank you.
Don't tell me about that.
Yeah, and my thing is, y'all look. I know we all got a moral code. Does your moral code include the other guy not getting away with stuff? Because my moral code say everybody's supposed to be on point. You started it when you called him a nigga. I can't worry about the results of it. Not in your favor, and you started it. It is what it is
And
at
that
that point.
dead is that. You don't want nothing to happen? Don't call nobody a nigga. There's a plain example for you right there. Shut,
Exactly.
open and shut.
I understand there's a morality when you think about where you took the life of a person. What about the morality about not bothering the person in the first place? My morality don't start where somebody died. My morality starts at the beginning of it. And in the beginning, you called him a nigga. Why would you do that?
Listen, Roger. Listen. You come up, especially black people. We come up listening and getting called a lot of stuff. I mean, we are built for that, man. Okay? We are built for that. So for you to go out, this dude and called you something, you saying if you go in and close the block on it, I would have to say, man, hey man, you don't know, you don't have jokes. There's something wrong with you because you throw away your whole life, man. Because this dude made it a point to say something new, trigger you, get you in your feelings.
No,
now you gotta sit down for the rest of your life because you closed the block on this dude when you could have easily ran them jokes, man.
Go P. Go P.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I love you, brother, but you on some sucker shit. You on some sucker shit.
See, man.
It's still the same.
Man.
It's still the same. You keep this is the point. You guys are proving my point. You keep saying if Roger did the act. Roger asked you from the beginning. If Roger is on the jury, if Gold P is on the jury, but you guys keep moving it and saying, nah, he going to prison. Well, who gonna send him? You gonna send him? Because that's what Roger is asking. Because if I'm the only black man on that jury, it's hung at worst.
Yeah, they're not going to get a conviction. That's not happening. And I'm going to say this to you, brother. When it comes down to it, you saying, okay, well, if I did it, bro, at the end of the day, I got to live with myself. And I don't think people get that. What I think to me, it's going to be pretty high up there. The only person who come before me is God himself. Now, if I spare you over God, that's one thing. But if I choose not to, that's your problem to deal with, not mine. And my daddy told me when I was a kid. Hold on. My daddy told me when I was a kid, you say, I'm sorry for society's sake. For society's sake. Okay? Because if I killed you, I meant to do it.
Roger, look, man, look. I can sympathize with my guy, Mr. Hinton. Okay? He's not guilty.
Hey, we're not bringing him up, man.
You keep saying, Roger, I'm not bringing him up. I'm using an example. I'm saying if I'm on the jury with that situation, I'm saying, no, he ain't guilty. Off top, I'm saying that. But if it's a situation where, oh, dude called me a name and I closed the block on him, you guilty, man.
No, brother, my thing is, I'm not saying you don't have a right as a grown man to feel that way. I ain't telling you not to feel that way. All I'm saying is, I need the context that I need to know is how did this thing start? It started because he called the man a nigga. The nigga fought because he got called a nigga. Now, the white man had a medical complication. He happens to die. That's his personal health issues. That ain't got nothing to do with this black man. I don't care. Got nothing to do with that black man.
You wrong in this instance, man.
No, I'm not. I'm 100%
yes, you
okay.
Are. I'm not saying you're not okay with the situation. I'm saying you wrong for that mindset.
No. My mindset is leave people alone. The white guy bothered him.
Okay, he called him something. Okay, he called him something. And I'm saying, I got jokes too. I got jokes too.
Hold on, go, because you didn't catch what I told you, because you said it. You said if a person calls me that, it make me feel some type of way. No, brother, I don't have a responsibility to internalize anything. I'm gonna beat you down because you said it. It's that simple.
You internalized it because you said it.
No.
You internalized it when you went to certain work.
No. I'm not internalizing anything. I'm just simply setting a standard that you weren't aware of at that moment, and now I'm making you aware of.
Okay.
I don't have to
Oh,
internalize
that's
it.
a heavy word. Somebody say that in front of your wife and kids. Somebody call you that in front of your family. You understand? Like it's just a level of hierarchy, and it's just in that moment, it's saying, okay, either you bow down or you don't. Right? That's really what it's saying. It ain't it. That word is a trigger word to say do something. What are you going to do about it?
Okay.
Immediately,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Understand, I don't even
Okay.
actually have to care that you even said it. That does not mean I ain't gonna do something to you.
Okay. Hey.
No.
I
Go
got
P.
it, man.
Hear me.
I got it.
No, hear
Yes,
me.
sir. Go ahead.
I don't have to even care that you said it. That does not
Yes.
guarantee I won't do something to you.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir.
Hold
Gotcha.
on, Roger. Hold on, Roger. Can you repeat that, bro?
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna say
missed
it
that.
again.
Maybe
I
I'm
don't
slow,
even
bro.
have to care that you said it. That does not mean I ain't gonna do something to you.
But you caring that he said it
No,
because you're doing something to him.
no. Look, a lot of y'all are fathers. Okay, so you ain't
Yes,
gonna be able to
sir.
run from this one. You're not gonna be able to run from this one. Has your
Right.
child did
Okay.
something that you truly didn't care about, but you punished your child just off the principle of the situation?
Okay. I'm not going to set my child up for failure.
I don't know,
The point is, as
Roger. You
fathers,
setting up some trick questions, bro. Come on, bro.
y'all have had to deal with something you
you,
truly didn't care about,
Roger.
but off the principle of the situation, you had to handle that.
I'm not
I
going to
cared
set my
about. I
child.
cared
I'm
about it,
not going
Roger.
to. I'm not going to set my child up for failure.
No.
Okay.
I'm not. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. What I'm saying, as a father, at some point in time, your child did something and you really didn't care. But there was a principle going on in that situation, and you had to do something for that child because of the principle of the situation.
Got it. But that person is not my. That person who called me the N-word is not my child.
I
Not
cared
saying
about
they
the
don't need to be.
violation. I cared, Roger. I mean, how do you separate that? How do you
Because
separate that? I don't get it.
You trying too hard, Roger. You trying too hard,
No,
brother.
I'm not. Some
You trying too
things.
hard, Roger.
How do you?
No.
I cared about the principle to apply some punishment, so I cared.
To my child.
Okay, fine.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
just. I don't
Oh
know.
no.
I might.
I can agree with you there, Jada. I concede on that. So if I care about the principle, therefore I now have a responsibility to do a certain execution of something to correct things. It's now my responsibility because I care about the principle.
True.
So
Absolutely.
at a primal setting, right? If we are in a primal setting and we're just going back because that's really what it comes down to. The primal boil, if we boil anything down to what it actually supposed to be, we're in a primal setting. We know that our words, somebody said use your words. We know as men, we use our words very carefully because we know there's an element of immediate disaster and catastrophe that can come about as a result of what we say straight up, especially when we face to face. You understand? We move. Everybody know exactly what I'm talking about. And then there's a hierarchy set. There are people that may say a little something, or attaboy people, or grab people, or do things physically to try to one up you, if you will. You know what I'm saying? To show again some type of hierarchy. Everybody does it. So when it happens, like you said, we fathers. So when it happened, you have to immediately identify that is a thing, right? And now where are you at? Are you if we locked up and somebody tell you, hey, meet me in the showers, are you gonna go, are you gonna not move based off of how I guess your moral your morality, or are you gonna get your ass up and get in that shower? I think it comes down to that. And that's the get up part and go get in that shower where you didn't want to, but now you have to. It ain't out here it's ambiguous, and we can say what we would do because we have a liberty to do that. You have liberty to make a decision. In most cases, we don't have liberty to make those decisions because we have others making those decisions for us. So we don't need to add to what it is that they already doing. We have to stick together. And if there's a reasoning of innocence, if there's a glimpse of innocence, I think we need to focus on the glimpse of innocence, not the not so much aspect of whatever it is going on. And intrinsically, that value would increase between us. We gotta love each other first. He made a mistake. He don't have no right to not correct himself. Like golly, everybody else do. So why can't we have the same grace or above the grace that everybody else is given? And that's all it is. And if we don't stand up for that, who will?
And my thing is, I ain't never gonna tell you not to give.
I'm be honest with you. It ain't a whole lot of scenarios where it's got to be real specific where I'm going to convict a brother who killed a white man. It's got to be real specific, like real talk. Because I know in the vast majority of cases, ain't too many black men just fucking with white men.
Talk to him,
In the
Uru.
vast majority of cases.
Talk to him, Uru.
I mean, I don't know what world you all are living in, but that's not the world I'm living.
This
In the
that
vast
white
majority of
supremacy.
cases, when there's an encounter between a white man and a black man, that white man was on some shit. Most brothers are just trying to get through their day as
Yep.
peacefully as possible. So I got to hear a whole lot of detail before I'm talking about sending a brother away for the rest of his life or get put in a chair and get injected with some shit because of killing a white man in the United States of America. Man, y'all out y'all damn minds.
Yeah. Because more than likely that black man was just going to pick up some milk for the kids, and that white man just wanted to have fun. And that's how it really go. Truth be said.
And I will repeat the statement. Most of them are cowards. So if you step to me saying some nigga shit, I'm assuming you got something on you. So I'm going as hard as I possibly can in that moment. That's my personal power. Because I deal with whatever I have to deal with in the prison, or maybe even possibly, well, I'm in Illinois, so I should be good. But I deal with whatever I got to deal with if I got to go to prison. But I'm not letting them put me in a box if I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this to close this out, y'all, because we way past the 3-hour mark. Okay. Even though I don't think I said it publicly, but last week and this week I did say I would give a marathon show if it was going that well. But I'm not going to try to force one. Shout out to Gregory Scotland. He said, "Hey, Roger, there were black jurors. There was black jury members on the. Excuse me. There was black jury members who stated that they did not convict O.J. Simpson because of what they perceived as a racist geared trial. I'm gonna say this, y'all.
Congratulations to him.
If OJ did it, they wouldn't need Mark Furman's help so much. It's plain and simple to me. Okay, so I ain't gonna never jump on that bandwagon talking about OJ did it. Why Mark Furman do so much stuff if OJ did it? Whatever happened to good police work? You had all the stuff you need to have if OJ did it. So why Mark Furman started tampering with evidence? You ask me, OJ ain't did squat. That's simple. I don't need to tamper with the evidence when I already got you.
Why didn't the glove fit?
Yeah, I don't. I vote not guilty for OJ, man. Off top.
Well, I am saying this though. Look, y'all, we know we live in a world where white people be coming at us in all kinds of crazy ways. What I'm trying to say is black folks wake up, smell the coffee. When somebody coming at you, you got to learn to recognize it. And what I am saying, this white controlled business that owns the Breakfast Club, they came at us because they put YN in the title. They know it means young nigga. And what was they talking about? In their minds, a young nigga because he was 16. Now, I'm going to say, yeah, they should have been ashamed of themselves for doing that. A donkey a day for a 16-year-old? I mean, come on, y'all. Let's be for real. You know, should any minor be featured on Donkey of the Day? Probably not because they're minors. Now, I didn't say it time and time again, I treat adults different than I treat minors. It's that simple. So at 17, you can still get away with stuff that I wouldn't let you get away with once you're 18. It's that simple at the end of the day. I tell every young person I'm around, once they're 18, I say, recognize you an adult now. So stuff gonna be different. It is what it is. So I don't know what y'all need to have happen to y'all for white people to call you a nigga and think that it's a problem. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, white people call you a nigga, and that's why this clip that I put in here, 9 months beyond when they put it up, still calling us niggas. Now I don't know who said something about this before me. Unfortunately, I ain't heard nobody who say nothing about it. Now I'm gonna say this: it's a bunch of content creators that do listen to me. When y'all gonna say something? Because I done brought it up now. Are y'all gonna follow this up? Because y'all follow up other stuff, and I ain't mad at you. Hey, why not listen to the right report and do some of the stuff I do? But y'all gonna rock with this too, or y'all gonna let this go? And I'm gonna close it out right there. Ain't gonna be no closing statement today, y'all. We done. We out of here. Y'all have a good day. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, you might as well subscribe. You're gonna get the best content social media got to offer right here. So you might as well be subscribed. And if you ain't hit that like button already, man, don't hit it. What is you waiting on? Okay. I will see y'all next time around. We do this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Chicago time. Okay, not Waukegan time, Chicago time. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.